Superior Court on 3rd Avenue, downtown Seattle.
Whose lives matter?
Black Lives Matter!
Whoa!
I'm not a tech guy. In just a couple of minutes, we're gonna call and we're gonna put Diaz up on the screen, and we're gonna have a conversation with her and let us all hear from her and let them hear from us. So, just another minute. Yeah, thank you.
Always forgetting the mic. Rushed out here this morning. Good morning, everybody who can hear me. So basically, down here at the King County Courthouse on 3rd Avenue, this morning is an arraignment or an additional hearing for the driver who hit Summer Taylor, ultimately killing her and Diaz Love on I-5 earlier this month. There's quite a few people who were here that day who are actually out here right now. We're waiting right now to get ready to connect Diaz through like Skype or some kind of video call so she can address the crowd that's gathered here.
Good, how are you? Good morning. Good, how are you guys?
Last time I saw you was actually on video because that video of you being arrested.
Yes.
So you're out of jail.
I am. Barely.
What brought you out here today?
We're here to rally for Summer Taylor and for Diaz, and really to just gather as a family and, remember why we're here and be here in solidarity. I think we're gonna call.
All right, guys, I'm not good at public speaking. I'm really nervous. My heart's beating fast, so my voice might be a little shaky. But I do know this. I know that Diaz has asked for us to all come out here and make some fucking noise. I see you guys with your drums. I see us with our loudspeakers. I see us with our voices. Let's make some fucking noise. voice. I don't know how to live a chance. Like I said, I'm not good at public speaking, but let's make some fucking noise for Diaz Love and Summer Taylor.
Just so everyone knows, the reason they were out here, Summer and Diaz were out here for 5 reasons, which were the demands. If my team, our family that knows the demands wants to help with that so that everyone could know what they were out here for.
This is our group's demands. These have been our demands from the beginning. Defund SPD, how much?
50% at least.
Defund SPD, how much?
50% at least.
Because whose lives matter?
Black lives matter.
Whose lives matter?
Black lives matter.
Where should that money go?
To black communities.
Where should that money go?
To black communities.
Because whose lives matter?
Black lives matter.
Whose lives matter?
Black lives matter.
3, who should you free?
All the protesters.
3, who should you free?
All the protesters.
Because whose lives matter?
Black lives matter.
Whose lives matter?
Black lives matter.
Don't forget number 4.
No new youth jail.
Don't forget!
Number 4.
No new youth jail.
Because whose lives matter?
Black lives matter.
Whose lives matter?
Black lives matter.
What do
We want for number 5.
Benny Durkin to resign.
What do we want for number 5?
Benny Durkin to resign.
Because whose lives matter?
Black lives matter.
Whose lives matter?
Black lives matter.
Those are our demands. This is our group demands. These have been our demands since we started this 4 weeks ago. These will continue to be our demands until our demands are met in full. We will not be pacified. We will not take settlements. Not one fucking less. Shut it down!
Don't give us what we want!
Shut it down.
They don't give us what we want!
Shut it down.
They don't give us what we want!
Shut it down.
Straight up! Straight like that! Not one demand less! Not one demand less! It's not for us, for Summer and Diaz! Not one demand less! Forget that! Not one less! Not one less! Not one less! Not one less! Not for us, for Summer and Diaz!
Not one less. 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 Not one less.
If not for us, for Summer and Diaz, I swear, if not for us, for them, not one less.
That is what they were both out here for. That is what they continue to be out here for in spirit. That is what we are all fighting for.
Yeah.
This shit is basic fucking human rights.
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 I wanted to announce that, sorry everybody, Dahlia Taylor, Summer's mother, will be here pretty soon and they will be speaking here. I would like to make sure that we give them the utmost respect and attention while they are speaking. I don't want any side conversations when they come up and speak. And when they do get here, we will announce it. We just want to make sure everybody knows that they will be coming to support us and to support Summer. Thank you guys.
I've been saying that. I'm just gonna move Nobody trip over this.
We said it, so if you trip, it's on you.
It's a crazy day. Thank you. I don't know whose keys these are, but come on, lose their keys. I'll bump you out. Check your pocket. They look like this. You got anything to say to the public? I know people have been wanting to hear from you. It's a tough day. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna say something. Just right here is okay. I mean, I saw you one time since, maybe twice since. The last time I saw you, we were all there on the freeway. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And just did the cha-cha slide. Best moment of my life. Yeah, right there, right. I remember being right there on I-5. You guys were doing the cha-cha slide, and I was live tweeting. Now we find ourselves here outside of the King County Courthouse today. I know why you're here, but maybe you can tell the public who's watching from all over. Why are you guys here today and so loud and boisterous? Because that night on I-5, the weak Khalidi decided to deliberately run us down, and he killed Summer Taylor, and Diaz Love is sitting at Harborview right now still in critical condition with 12 broken bones. That's why we're here, because today happens to be this man's arraignment. And listen, I seen it from my own two eyes, and I ain't gonna lie to you guys, that was the worst thing I've ever seen in my life, literally, the worst. I've seen so much. I've seen my brother dead on the ground, laying in the street. But what I seen that night was the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. I'll never forget it. Like, dead serious. Like, this is not a joke. Worst thing I've ever seen in my life. And so, we're gonna make sure he pays for what he did. He killed somebody deliberately. He wasn't under the influence. He wasn't mentally unstable. He was in his right state of mind and deliberately did this. Like, it was purposely done. He could have avoided hitting anybody, and he chose not to. I don't care what anybody has to say, really, honestly. You don't have to like me. You don't have to be my fan. You don't have to be a supporter. I don't care. But justice is justice, period. And what he did was commit murder. So whether you agree with what we're out here doing, or whether you agree with what we're saying or not, the fact of the matter is, Dawid Khalidi killed someone on purpose and injured another, and he deserves to go get punished to the fullest extent of the law, regardless if you agree with us or not. That is fact, and you cannot argue with that. Regardless if you don't have to agree with our politics and what we're doing out here. You don't have to agree with the movement. But justice is justice, and we deserve, Summer Taylor's family deserves justice.
So now is there an added reason to stay in the streets? I know before, there's the 5 demands, which you guys just listed off, sometimes number 6.
Yeah, sometimes number 6.
You didn't bring up demand number 6 today, but it's okay. But are you now more intent on staying out here in protest season? A lot of people kind of think that protest season's coming to an end. Where are we at in protest season?
Stay tuned, man. There's a lot of stuff coming. Protest season just started. Literally, the budget vote is next week. Are you guys think we're finna quit? You're right. Summer and Diaz would kick our ASS's if we quit. Protest season ain't over. Ain't no protest season. It's summer season all year. And this is what we own. Beating our feet to the streets like we do every single day. It's working, ain't it? It's working. You don't have to agree with it, but it's working. This is just the beginning. We're just getting started, literally. It's just the beginning.
I ain't a superhero today, y'all. Y'all gonna have to pray for me today. I ain't a superhero today. I ain't got a cape on. I ain't got no strength. I ain't it today. I ain't it today. I'm gonna need y'all prayers though. But definitely protest season is just starting. All these council members is finna get a taste of what it's like to say you're gonna do something and then the people actually making you do something. Everybody's gonna get a taste of it. Just stay tuned. You gotta stay tuned. There's big stuff coming in the store. Trust me. If anybody knows about last night, they know what happened. If you was there, I don't know what happened. I wasn't there. I don't know what happened. But you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of big things in store. This is just the beginning. Just the beginning. Trust me. We got a whole lot more to go.
I said I was mad. I tell people all the time that was one of the most horrible things. One of the most horrible things I ever saw in my life. And the first thing you hear me saying is, I'm so glad I wasn't live streaming because everybody would have saw what I saw. I mean, that was one of the most horrific things that I ever witnessed.
The worst thing I've ever seen.
You know what I'm saying?
And to be literally like 15 feet away and just being like, here. This is me. This is the point of action. Right here. Literally that far apart. It's crazy. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's what I keep hearing too. I'm gonna do that though.
Hi.
So we got CK here. We got everybody out here.
The video keeps breaking up. I don't know, maybe it's my Wi-Fi. Let me go to my... No, it says I have Wi-Fi, it's just probably just too much effort.
We can hear you good, Diaz.
Oh, hi, TK!
Hi, Diaz. We can hear you, baby. We can hear you.
Okay, I don't know where to find you again. You just phone called me? Is that...
No, you gotta turn
now
the
I move
video
screens
back
and I
on,
can't figure out...
You gotta turn the
what
video
this...
back on.
Oh, the video's just off, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I can see you guys a little bit.
Look at you.
Oh, you guys can't see me. I'm just like being an old person trying to go through screens.
Yes, you are.
Hi. Thanks so much for coming, everybody. I really appreciate it.
We love you. We love you.
Love you too. As soon as I can get out of here and get in a fucking wheelchair, I'm gonna be on the marches with you. But I like Bugle Boy better, but he's graduated to Trumpet Man.
Trumpet Man is back!
Trumpet Man, thanks for being here.
Listen, we're all here to listen to you and hear what you gotta say, so whatever you want to tell the people, you go right in.
I don't know what the fuck to say. Fuck that piece of shit who ran into us. You know, it's like you guys are talking about the 5 demands and how no one's gonna budge and no one's gonna settle. Like, I'm not, obviously I'm not glad that Summer died, but I'm glad that I was the one who was hit because I'm a badass sort of cunt bitch and there's no settlement. Like, don't ever fucking talk to me. I'm taking this shit all the way to the fucking top. Like, SPD should be fucking scared. Like, I'm not fucking playing around. We're taking this all the way to the top. They were fucking negligent and blocking up the freeway for us. There's been people who have been through their boundaries and borders before. Like, they knew that this shit could and likely would happen. Hell, we just fucking walked away from Molly Clark and we were just celebrating that we weren't fucking killed there. Like, this is fucking SPD. This is fucking all of their shit. Like, they were negligent in keeping us safe. And I'm not gonna fucking stop until that's fucking proven and there's action from that. This is overwhelming. Does anybody have questions or anything? I don't know what to fucking say.
I got a question for you.
Hey.
We all we got.
TK. We all we need, baby.
We all we got.
We all we need.
We all we got.
We all we need.
Who got our back?
I mean, I don't even talk to my birth family anymore because they're like Trump supporters and bullshit. But I hella feel supported. Like, I was only up in Seattle for what, not even a fucking week before all this shit happened. Like, I didn't know anybody in Seattle before I fucking drove up. I just knew you guys needed numbers at CHOP, and that CHOP was like the fucking wave of what's going on. Yeah, and I mean, like, from not knowing anybody, like, I feel hella supported and really taken care of, and I mean, yeah, we're all we need, like, we're all we got. Like, you guys are fucking family, you know, and just taking care of me, and I just really appreciate it.
We got you. We got your back. Who got our back? We got our back. Who got our back? We got our back.
You got our back?
We got your back, Diaz. We here for you. We got your back.
Thanks, teacher. It's a little overwhelming.
Admire how beautiful Diaz looks right now.
I put on mascara for you bucks.
They got pretty for us.
I think, I mean, let me move this. So, I could probably show, like, where my wounds are at and stuff and how that shit's going if people are interested in that, or if that's, like, too much for people. Nothing's, like, bloody and, like, hanging out or anything.
Go ahead. If you know if that's what you want to do, go ahead.
People want to see. Well, I was hoping to get the staples in my head out today. I don't know if you could see them.
You see them?
Okay, so those are supposed to come out today, but they didn't. But the staples in my hip, I don't know if I could show you that. So I broke my arm in 3 places. You've seen the badass scar. It goes all the way. Where's my scar? So I think you've all seen the badass scar.
And you're definitely a badass now.
Well, no, this scar is kick-ass. Like, I'm fucking stoked on this scar. Look at that shit. I'm gonna get a tattoo that, like, fucking features it. I think it's killer. But, so most of my pain is gonna be heart. Okay, so it's edema. So I have an edema. So on the side of that fucker ran into me. All the fluid and stuff that's trying to heal my body is collected on one side. And it's collected on my, like, ass and thigh on my left side, which is, like, the meatiest part. So you can't, it doesn't show anything. It's not like a big bruise anymore, but it's just, like, all filled with liquid. And that's, like, the most painful thing. That's, like, when I have to turn on my side. Why I scream bloody murder even when I'm on, like, the highest of painkillers, because it's just the fluid of the edema moves around. And then because there's pressure, I'm sitting on it. When I release that pressure, it's just like, but you're not, I mean, it's not going to look like anything like, besides I'm just trying to show you my vagina or some shit. But then, so if we were talking about my leg like a strip of meat at the butcher's or whatever, it's like, well, it used to be like cut in the middle and down was all the edema, but now it's like, I don't know if you could see how that's not like regular skin that's moving, that's just like hugely filled with liquid. So with the edema used to be the whole leg. It's getting better. So now it's like right here, all the way to right here, and then all the way around the back. Like my whole ass on that side is just like, I know it's big, but it's also like a fucking edema. So let me move this shit. Come on. Oh, I can't go further. Okay. Okay, got it. And then, I don't know, can I flip this fucker around? I can flip this fucker. Okay, so then that's my foot. That got broken in 3 spots. The, what is it? The ankle got fucked up. The tibia and the fibula got completely shattered and broken. So the foot, like, I can't roll it or anything. Oh, look at me. I'm moving it. Holy shit. That's almost like I'm able to move that. Ooh. Okay, so that one, but look, this is my second cast because the other one got too big because my swelling's going down. And look, you can already see space in between, so that's good. I think they're going to cut off that cast in about a week, and what are they gonna do to it? They're gonna cut it off and do something. I have a brain injury, traumatic brain injury, and so I lose a lot of my information in the morning, so I have to go through my notes and read what I wrote. But they're gonna, that cast is coming off next week for something, and then they're putting on a new cast, so it's not that super great, because they're putting on a brand new one. Oh, then I should show you my X Factor. Hold on, let me cover up my vagina. I mean, I'm a nudist, but I didn't realize the level of non-nudist I am being in the hospital and people poking and prodding and moving your vagina. It's just fucking nuts. Okay, so this is my X Factor. Or I guess maybe it is better this way. So because my tailbone is completely shattered and then my pelvis is broken in 2 spots. So this is gross if you don't want to see gory stuff, because this is the most gory stuff. So look away right now if you don't want to look at this. Okay. So that goes into my body. So that goes directly into the hip. Oh, let me see if I can. This shit's all hip. That side too. It is like, oh, well, that one, you can't really see that one very well. But so that's just drilled into my hips. I've doubled everything together. Just showing you my vagina, not big deal. So that has to stay on for 5 more weeks. I'm gonna get out of the hospital with this on. So that's when I come to the marches at first. My chair will have to be like back in like 180, so that I can't like be at a 90-degree angle. And then once it's off in 5 weeks, I can just have a regular chair and get just a ride with anybody, and just use the chair. Well, hopefully we can get the funds together so I can get a fucking electric chair, so that you motherfuckers don't have to get suckered into push my place. That's what's going on with me. And yeah, the traumatic brain injury, I don't know if it's like all the drugs that I'm on in the day, or the traumatic brain injury, or how much is what of what, but like the stuttering and like the losing my words, like that's not normal at all for me. So I hope that gets to end. I mean, small price to pay to being alive, but I would really like it if the brain injury stuff chills the fuck out. Let me put this back on. So yeah, that's my body. What's up with your body?
Thank you for sharing. Everybody say thank you for sharing. Thank you for
I love that damn trumpet. I love that damn trumpet. And hopefully the hospital's not watching this live stream. You gotta get pain relief how you can get pain relief, honey. Just thanks so much for being here. I mean, so that motherfucker just started having a Jaguar, didn't have any fucking insurance. Oh, surprise, surprise. So I'm not getting any sort of settlement at all. So I'm gonna be, I don't know what level of disabled for a long time. We can't go to trial until COVID's done, so hopefully that's not too long. And then this trial, because I'm not fucking settling and I'm gonna be going after some big ass motherfuckers who hopefully don't like to take a hit out on me, because that shit's real. That's gonna be going on for 3 to 5 more years. I don't know my level of disability, but like, if people could keep kicking $5-10 whatever into my Venmo and PayPal, please don't use the GoFundMe if you can. It takes 8% of all the money. But yeah, I think my monthly bills are going to be like $10,000 a month with like rent and having to get full-time caregivers and equipment, all that bullshit. So the money I have so far is going to go quick. So if anybody wants to, I think if somebody can help me set up a Patreon. But if anybody wants to keep kicking down to my shit, I would super appreciate it, because I don't know when I'm going to be able to get back to work, and you know, and this is going to be a really long process. So any financial support, emotional support, physical support, like I'd appreciate any of that shit for real. I love you too. You just like me, Chica. You're just gay, Chica. That's the thing. I'm gay as fuck. I mean, let's be real. I made sure to get a haircut before all this shit. Thanks, Marilyn, for coming to the hospital and giving me a haircut, by the way.
Yeah, way to go, Marilyn!
My head staple stops literally right where my hairline part, so I'm glad those fuckers, when they were stapling my head, took note of how cute my hair is. Does anybody have any questions or anything? I'm sorry, I'm never shy, but I don't know what the fuck to say.
What's your Venmo?
Hey, you want to tell the people your Venmo, your Cash App and stuff?
Yeah. My Venmo is at It's Diaz Love.
It's Diaz
So that
Love.
one's not hard. It's Diaz Love. And then my PayPal is lovediaz at PDX, which stands for that's Portland's like airport thing, at pdx.edu. Yeah. So Venmo, it's Diaz Love. PayPal, Love Diaz at PDX, Paul David Xylophone .edu, education. Yeah. And I mean, PayPal is great for folks who aren't like in the know or whatever, but they do take 8%, and so right now it's like $8,000 or whatever. That sucks. Yeah. And if anybody knows these things, I'd love help setting up a Patreon. If anybody wants to like DM me to try to help me do that, I would really appreciate that. If anybody has any questions or anything, I'm down to answer whatever people want to know.
I think we're just all happy to see you. We want you to talk.
Okay, what you want to ask me a story? Well, I'm going to put my beanie in. Ask me a question. I'll fucking talk to you about some shit.
Are you from Portland?
Huh?
Are you from Portland?
You can ask me a question.
They're saying
Me?
you're originally from Portland, correct?
No, I'm originally from Boise, Idaho.
Yeah, Idaho represent.
You can take the lady from the potatoes, but you can't take the potatoes from the lady. I love me some damn potatoes. But Portland's where I've called home. Oh shit, what did I do? Portland's where I've called home. What?
Turn the video back on. Turn yourself off.
I know, I don't know how to get back to it. Are you on, did you call me on Facebook?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I pressed a button like a grandma. No, it's not on Facebook. Where is it at? Let me see.
Messenger.
Got it. I'm sorry, like a grandma. Sorry. I'm the least technological person. I don't know why the fuck I ever got in the role of live streaming. I like don't even know how to do any of this stuff. But there just wasn't on any of the marches, please, we need enough live streamers, especially on the nighttime march. Like, live streamers keep everybody safe. It's evidence for a bunch of shit. Like, please, there's gotta be live streamers. If you show up to a rally and there's not live streamers, like, throw that shit on. It doesn't matter if you've got like 5 people watching. That's not what the fuck it's about. It's for our fucking protection and our safety, so that if shit goes down, we have video evidence. So please, throw up your live stream if nobody else is doing that shit. And if there's some cops doing some fucking crap, just immediately pull out your live stream so that we have enough recording of all angles of what's going on. Like, we need video proof. I mean, literally live stream proof is what's gonna make this case for Summer and me, you know? Also, on that note, if anybody is like technologically sound, we need a team of trusted and vetted people to go through hundreds of hours of live stream, time mark some bullshit, and then edit that bullshit down so that those clips can be sent to our lawyer. We really, really, really need that so that we can have video evidence of like Molly Park trying to kill us, that guy a week ago who came through and got through the police barrier. Like, yeah, we just need as much evidence as we can get through live stream. So we need a live stream edit team. Cool. Yeah. So if folks want to like organize on a team with that or whatever, I think I asked Nicole to be on top of that team to get some questions. Dope. Thank you. What other stuff?
That's it,
I don't know yet. Huh?
Is that all you got?
No, shut the fuck up. I got a lot of stuff. I can't wait to get out of here and drink a damn beer. Holy shit, I can't wait to smoke a fucking joint. Holy shit.
Yeah, that sounds like my kind of party. Now you're talking my language.
Yeah. Well, once I get out of here, I think I'm hopefully signing on a 2-bedroom soon, in the CHOP. And so once that happens, I'll have, I'll let the channels know of people who can come by, like COVID safe, but how we can have like a little housewarming, whatever, with all the folks, and stuff. Because I want to see people for fucking sure. And also on that note, if we know anybody in Black Lives Matter, if we know anybody in the community who has been a caregiver, a CNA, or somebody who's just like really good at that shit, I need to hire probably at least 2 caregivers. It's just out of my pocket, it's just out of donation money, but I'm gonna pay well. Ideally someone who can be just like, who there's that extra room, who could just like move in and get their shit comfortable for like a month or 2 or 3 or however it takes me to like, I mean, I traveled Mexico alone for 1.5 years. Like, I'm independent as fuck, and I want to be independent as fuck. But until that can happen, like, I need someone to, like, stay with me. And it's not definitely work all the time, but it's, like, helping me turn or helping me transfer from, like, the bed to the chair, probably. Maybe, hopefully not, but maybe chair to the bathroom. And then back into bed and shit. So if we know anybody in the community who's, like, a caregiver, I definitely need to hire some people, and I'll definitely be paying a good wage. So if they can hit me up, that's not. So they have to have a bunch of stuff in place in the hospital before they let me go. And right now, not having a caregiving team in place is like the one thing. If they were to come to me tomorrow and say, "Okay, you're good to get out of here in a week," that'd be the one thing that's like I don't have any support in that yet. So if we can figure out that or at least maybe a good agency, if somebody knows a good agency to call and try to get someone, or any support in that would be really nice. Okay, thank you, TK. Love you. I'm going to be going live with Omari at 3. Omari's going to be in my hospital room. Omari's feed can be pretty full of fucking trolls, so that bums me the fuck out. Hi, Omar.
Hey, Diaz.
So we're gonna go live at 3, but Omari's stream can be like, there's a lot of trolls and can be hella unsafe if you're trying to watch some shit. My stream's also gonna be live, but I'm sure Omari's gonna have like way more folks and stuff. But yeah, at 3, both of us are gonna be live. He's gonna be in the hospital room, and we're gonna do an interview.
Yeah,
So tune into that. All right, I love you, Joey. Thanks, TK. Thanks everyone for being here. It's okay, you can come in. Perfect timing, miners. I love you all. Be good, be safe, keep each other safe. I love you, TK.
Can we say family? I ain't Superman or Spider-Man today. I ain't got a cape on today, but y'all giving me a little bit of strength. I appreciate it. I really appreciate it. Thank you, buddy. Thank you. Woo! Hey, I feel like Cuba. I swear to God, from Boys in the Hood, like that's really how I feel right now. Like I just want to beat up the whole air. Like I just want to beat the air's ass. Like bro, like WWE style beat the air's ass right now. MMA, UFC, boxing, all that. I just want
Maybe we can get TK.
Stone Cold Stunner, look. Like I really want to beat the air up like that right now. Like, what was the kick out? Give him some Sweet 10 music, just boom! Like, bro, being serious, like I just want to beat the air up right now. Like, that's how I feel.
I think you just did.
I think I just did.
You just whipped that air's ass.
The air is like, I just want to fight the air right now.
Suddenly it became hard to breathe.
What's so fun? Yeah.
Hey, brother.
You know that podcast we did is like one of the most listened to.
It is. I haven't actually been able to find it yet. Where do I go? SoundCloud or? That'd be great, man. Yeah.
I guess I could just quote this right now. This trumpet man, aka the bare-chested trumpeter, you know what I'm saying, aka the bugle boy who's been promoted to trumpet. What brought you out here this morning?
Well, I was actually in Salt Lake, and Diaz asked for me to come. I'm just super, super honored. So I got on a plane right away. I actually had someone donated money to fly me out here. Like, you know, this is a family. This is a movement, and it's also like it's global and it's definitely national. July 25th, there's going to be a lot of solidarity for Portland protests. I was actually in Portland just 2 weekends ago. Got arrested out there, and it's just part of the process, you know.
Somebody said actually they hit us. Because last time we talked to you, you just got out of jail.
Yeah.
Did they keep the felony? I know you said they dropped
No. That's the thing. We're winning. Like they can't make these charges stick. It's just politically impossible for them.
Felony, failure to disperse?
No, they gave me malicious mischief, which I thought was kind of fun. Yeah, but again, didn't stick. I don't have that. I still have my trumpet man charges, pedestrian obstruction. So we'll deal with that when the time comes. They don't even have a court date before me yet. But I mean, hopefully we can get all that stuff dropped, right? We need amnesty for all this garbage. You know, we need to. I mean, like I was telling you before, I'm anarcho-primitivist. You know, I have my own views on government. But if you're into reform, like it's a pretty basic thing to say, hey, people can protest and don't need to be charged for it. You know what I mean? So if people are wondering what we're out here, we have some basic demands here that still need to be met. Well, I've taken 2 months off of work now, and I don't plan to go back anytime soon. If I lose my apartment, then I'll just keep traveling city to city, playing the trumpet. I mean, I'm about as committed as I can be. I still make peace every morning that if I die today, then I'll be among friends like Summer, you know. Thanks.
Say hi. I'm Hannah.
It's a little somber, you know. We're out here for Summer and Diaz today. So, you know, everybody's feeling the vibes and, you know, taking recognition for their contributions to the movement.
It's been lots of ups and downs over that almost 2 months since we've been talking to you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Literally get ready to go into month number 2 here very soon. Where do you think Seattle is at in these protests as far as it being accepted or at least worked on? Do you see this going on for a
I see it going on. I'm not necessarily sure how long, as for the duration of how long it's going on. I know that there's some votes that are going to be made by City Council towards the defunding and the reallocation of funds. But the timeline for all of our demands, I'm not exactly sure how long that's going to be. And you've asked me that throughout our 8 weeks or however long it's been, and I'm still not sure, unfortunately. But I do know that we're still out here, and we're going to continue to be out here as long as the demands have not been addressed. And so we're very serious about it, and we're just going to continue to have our stance on things. That's where we're at. I'm very active on a regular basis, and so I'm going to continue to be as long as our people are getting hurt, our people are getting killed, and our demands are not being addressed. it's on the city. It's on the city.
One last question. One of the things, of course, everybody's talking about is what's occurring down in Portland. Of course, the federal troops are on the ground down there, federal police, whatever you want to call it, on the ground down there. And what have you seen any of the footage from Portland, or what are some of your thoughts on the protests?
I've seen some of the footage. My thoughts are, I'm glad that Portland's being involved. I'm aware that there is some support that's coming from both Seattle and from California to Portland. And I know that prior to the Portland and the federal troops being down there, that a lot of Portland people were coming up here to support. And so, honestly, unfortunately, the federal troops are having their acts of violence towards the people in the city of Portland. But I'm glad to see that there's been unity and more solidarity between the West Coast, and we're just going to keep on coming out in numbers. It's going to keep on happening, and hopefully the war crimes will cease. But the people will be strong.
Hi, can I get everyone's attention, please?
Yeah, for sure.
Please. When I say their name, you say Summer Taylor. Say their name.
Summer Taylor.
Say their name.
Summer Taylor.
Say it louder.
Summer Taylor.
Say it louder.
Summer Taylor.
I can't hear you.
Summer Taylor.
Still can't hear you.
Summer Taylor.
Say their name.
Summer Taylor.
Say their name.
Summer Taylor.
So if it's all right with everyone, I would like to take just a couple minutes of silence, please.
We got our back. We got our back. We got our back. We got our back.
When I say endless, you say summer. Endless.
Summer.
Endless.
Summer.
When I say endless, you say summer. Endless.
Summer.
Endless.
Summer.
Endless.
Summer.
Endless.
Summer.
Endless.
Summer.
Endless.
Summer.
Endless.
Summer.
Endless.
Summer.
Endless.
Summer.
Endless.
Summer.
Endless.
Summer.
Endless.
Summer.
Summer season.
All year.
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 Diaz.
Love.
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 Diaz.
Love.
Diaz.
Love.
Diaz.
Love.
Diaz.
Love.
Diaz.
Love.
Summer season.
All year.
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 Diaz.
Love.
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 We all we got.
We all we need.
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 We love you, Summer.
We love you, Summer.
We miss you, Summer.
We miss you, Summer.
Mourn the dead and fight like hell for the living.
Fight like hell for the living.
So, talked to Diaz yesterday, and
said that I would speak, and I will try not to just scream my rage into this microphone right now. Every day.
Every day.
Every day.
Every day.
Every day.
Every day.
I'm tired of feeling like this every day. I'm tired of feeling like this every day. Black mothers are tired of losing their children every day. Black fathers are tired of losing their children every day. Black communities are tired of being murdered by the police and having those police walk away free or taking a paid vacation. I'm tired of living in a country that has never not had slavery. I am tired of people who look like me going through their daily lives, okay, living in a country that has never not had slavery. I am tired of children in cages, concentration camps in this country that we try and hide by another name. I am tired of doing this every day. I will be out here every day. And every day that you are not doing something, being out here, pressuring your politicians, calling your politicians, donating, supporting black communities, mentoring black youth, taking care of black families. Every day that you are not doing something to show and prove that Black Lives Matter to you is one more day that we have to be out here doing this. It is another day you add to an everyday. We don't want a record. This isn't about how many days in a row we can go. This is to shut it down. And every day you do not do it, you are adding another day. You are literally ending lives. Literally ending lives. Diaz cannot be out here every day right now. Summer cannot be out here every day. To these live streams, to these cameras, to the people at home that are at the very least even watching and listening to this, what are you doing every day? To politicians who are calling and texting me, do you have my vote? What are you doing every day to prove that Black Lives Matter? I don't want to hear that you're going to listen to black leaders. I don't want to hear about your history. What are you doing today? What are you doing tomorrow? Every day when I walk and march down these streets and I see people with their vodka Red Bulls in the bar, what are you doing today? Where is your money going? You're socializing and videotaping and drinking that Red Bull. That's not self-care. Protecting black lives is self-care. We may have catchy chants and we look like we're having fun. This is serious. We have fun with each other. We love each other because we are family. If you want to think about what community looks like after Black Lives Matter, come to one of the marches. See the world we are trying to build. It is a truth that white supremacy is not a problem for white people to empathize with. It is a problem for white people to solve. It is a problem that white people created. What the hell are you doing? Where are you? What are you doing? We all we got.
We all we need.
We all we got.
We all we need.
That first part, we all we got. It's all we have. This government, the police, they don't have our backs. We don't have them. Black communities do not have them. Indigenous communities do not have them. Communities of color do not have them. The police, the government. In fact, the government and our systems of laws, they are intentionally created to not have their backs. This is not a broken system. It is a well-tuned, perfectly designed system. It ain't broken, it's working exactly the way it was designed. Exactly the way it was designed. We're out here today in front of this courthouse. Another way to know that they do not have our backs. How did this happen? Why did this happen? How was this able to happen? The troopers shutting down the highway, and yet not truly shutting it down. Think about it. Think about it. Not some mastermind to figure out how a car can drive onto a way to get onto a highway. It's an entry point. It's not rocket science. And I don't think it's just every trooper's just not smart enough to figure it out. It's because they did not care enough about the people that were out there and the reason they were out there to actually keep people safe. Last summer, a group of Proud Boy, racist, homophobic people came to Capitol Hill to tell us how much they hated the queers. They had barricades, they had a bike brigade, they had a well-marked off route. They threw me to the ground to get me out of the way so they could protect their right to protest. We don't have a bike brigade from the police. We have it ourselves because we all we got. We all we got. We don't have the police escorting us. We have the police escorting the murderer, the attempted murderer, Molly Clark, who tried to kill us twice, and wasn't put into handcuffs. Wasn't arrested, wasn't anything. Retired, getting pension. That was the escort that they gave. That was the escort that they gave. I normally start out by talking about my fear of public speaking and how I hate it. No more. I'm not afraid. Speaking is not something to be afraid of. Letting this opportunity pass, going back into the fucking privileged bubble that we live in, that is what I am scared of. And I want to talk about privilege. Talk about privilege, because it's a term that we use, white privilege. We talk about it in many ways. We talk about it in many ways. We talk about the school and education. We talk about jobs. We talk about generational wealth and support from families. Those are all types of privilege. Getting to die of a natural cause, that is white privilege. Getting to spend any time, 1 second of your life, without the fear of being killed, that is white privilege. It doesn't matter if you are a child walking through a park. It doesn't matter if you are sleeping in your own bed. If your skin is not white like mine, no second of your life do you get to go without having your life in danger. That is white privilege. And if you are okay with the fact that if you are not doing something every day, all day, if you're okay with that, you're literally killing people. We have been out here how many days since George Floyd's death, which sparked this national and international movement, yet how many other people were dead? Like, this is not the first time. Thank you that people actually woke the fuck up in that moment. But we have been out here how many days? The time of wondering which side am I on, what am I gonna do, that is over. People are dying, they are still dying. People have died for this cause. Wake up, make your choice, and then do something about it. And the last thing I want to talk about, because I want to get off here and give space, is that I can't is not a sentence. It's not a full sentence. I can't because why? I can't, when you respond, just come to a march, be out for Black Lives, and you hear I can't? No, that's not good enough. I can't is not good enough. You better call out and say, why? I can't because why? Because I'm gonna go have a drink? Because I need to do this? It better be a good damn reason. Because when you're saying I can't, you're saying the reason you can't is more important than Black lives. That is what you are saying. So somebody who says it, and you ask yourself, why can't you? It better be a good damn reason. Be out here, do something every day. End the fucking murder and system of slavery in this country. Do it, and do it now. Shut it down.
Hey all, I just want to make this brief and actually to piggyback off of what Nanel just said. We ain't taking I can'ts, we ain't taking I won'ts, we ain't taking not today's, we ain't taking maybe tomorrow's no more. Fuck that. This has been going on for way too long. For those of you who aren't aware, we've started a picketing campaign right here in this area in front of City Hall every weekday. We got these courthouses, we got these jails, we got the immigration building over there, we got FBI, we got police headquarters right here, the jails right there. And so if you haven't been out to one of these pickets, I need you all to take your phone out right now and follow Instagram. It's going to be picket, the number 4 change, period, Seattle. And I need each one of you here to commit to coming out one day, just one day in the week. Bring a neighbor, bring your friend, bring your fucking goldfish. I don't care. I need all of you. We need all of you. I'm only one person. If I could clone myself, I would be on every single block here in downtown Seattle. But I can only cover one intersection. And we reach so many people out here. We make so many people uncomfortable. And by making them uncomfortable, we are making them think about this movement. We are letting them know that we are not going anywhere. And we will not stand down until this shit is fixed. And if it's not, we will shut this shit down. We will shut the whole city down. All right? So once again, that is picket, the number 4 change, period, Seattle. Another resource is going to be Morning March Seattle on Instagram as well. So please, I need each one of you to commit to coming to at least one of those every week. If you can't, tell 5 people and tell them to tell 5 people. Thank you.
Thank you, Derek. We have Summer's mother here. We need your full attention and respect.
Eyes
thank you.
front. Pay attention, guys.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi, my name is Dahlia Taylor. Now you know I'm Summer's mom. I have it prepared on a piece of paper. We are unbelievably humbled to be surrounded by you all this morning. The work of this community is to seek justice for those who for centuries have been victims of oppression, violence, discrimination, and death. And so we deeply thank you for extending your love to our child. Whether Mr. Kalete intended to strike our child and Diaz love, or whether it was an accident like he claims, the increasingly regular practice of weaponizing cars is real for BLM protesters in this city. Before their death, Summer had texted me about seeing a car run into a crowd of protesters. The Seattle Times featured protesters reporting that they were chased by cars on a daily basis. And there are multiple reports that an off-duty officer was obsessively menacing Summer and Diaz's group on more than one occasion. My child is dead, and someone else is terribly, terribly injured. And it was Mr. Kalete who did that to them. But I can tell you this, I am less angry at a possibly impaired driver with drug-induced psychosis than I am shocked that the hatred toward this movement, coming from so much of the public, including law enforcement and possibly the defendant, and that this hatred was possibly responsible for the death of my child. And I am petrified by its threat to our country. No. So, dear friends of Seattle, we want to assure you that it is our goal to continue lifting up Summer's spirit. Along with the criminal charges brought against Mr. Kalete by the prosecutor's office, Summer and several other injured protesters will be part of a suit holding the government and SPD responsible for the assault they suffered during protests and for the lack of protection from outside threats. We plan to legally hold all parties accountable whose actions pertaining to the freeway that night contributed to Summer's death. We believe through these lawsuits we will help fight the fundamental issue of racism in Western Washington law enforcement. For if officers had been more neutral and less resentful toward protesters, this tragedy would not have happened. And definitely, officers wouldn't have posted memes about my baby on the day that they died. The problems of racism in policing and racism in our communities is real. Thank you so much for being here, for all your support, your messages, your contributions. It has meant the world to us. Thank you.
Summer season! All year! Summer season! All year! Summer season! All year! Summer season! All year! Endless! Summer! Endless! Summer! Endless! Summer! Endless! Summer! Endless! Summer! Endless! Summer! We all we got! We all we need!
Let's give her another round of applause, please. I know personally for me, I've had a lot of guilt just being involved in the organization of the march that, took their life. Just a lot of guilt of I wasn't there that night, just a lot of guilt of not being there. And it's kept me up many nights not exactly knowing if we have the family's blessing of being out there. And I know that just really meant the world to me, to hear that the family still wants us out there, still appreciates the message. And we will not let the life go in vain. Absolutely not. We need you out here every single day. As many people are out here right now. If I don't see that many people out at the night march or the morning march, I'm coming for you personally. And that's not, it's all love. We're out here right now. You can be out there another day. Your friends can be out there. We cannot let this be in vain. Please.
So listen, when we all leave here, we all got these beautiful signs we done made, right? There's a bunch of street corners with a bunch of business people, a bunch of people that need to know what's going on. They need to understand that it's time to pick a side. Because not picking a side is why we're here. Seriously, it's time to pick a side. So let's take all these signs right here, 20 minutes out of our day. We're all here, right? So 20 minutes out of our day, stand on these corners, making people pick a side shouldn't be that hard. If we are really all we got and we are truly all we need, then doing that for 20 minutes out of your day should not be that hard. It should not be that hard. Because if Summer was here, Summer would be doing that. If Diaz could be out here, Diaz would be out here doing that. So you guys are here. You guys are standing right here. You guys can take 20 minutes to go do that. For real. If you don't got a sign, we got plenty of materials up here to make signs. Literally, everything you need to have a sign is up here right there for you. There's no excuse. Literally, everybody has to pick a side right here, right now, today, tomorrow, for the next 10 days. Literally. Everybody has to pick a side. Every day, we have to force people to pick a side. It's either our side or whatever. But it has to be our side. They need to pick a side. And this is how we do it. You guys being out here supporting this movement is how you make them pick a side. This is how we do this the right way for Summer. This is how we finish what they started. This is how we do that. This is our contribution to that. For real. I don't want it, there should be no excuse. If we all made it out here bright and early, 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, we can all make it out here 8 o'clock in the morning for the morning march, or 8 o'clock at night for the nightly march, or in the middle for DT's picketing. Stop, come on, man, there's no excuse. There's no more excuses. Every day, all day is literally real. There's no more excuses. None. This just showed me nobody has an excuse. Literally just showed me nobody has an excuse. Morning, lunch, and dinner. Literally, breakfast, lunch, and dinner is really that real. Black Lives Matter at any time of the day. For real. So come out here and let's finish what Summer started. Let's all finish this together. If we all we got. We all we got. Who got our back? Who got our back? So let's finish this together like we started then.
Yeah, when you leave, pick like 3 or 4 people and just go to an intersection and hold your signs. I have sign making materials. I have it every single day. I have markers, I have poster boards. All you have to do is bring yourself. It happens after the morning march, usually about 11:30 noon. But you don't need me. You don't need me to do it. You can come out here and you can come hold a sign. You can bring your neighbors. You can do it in your neighborhood, especially if you live in District 4, District 5. You don't need me. You need to take it on yourself. You need to go to these street corners, all right?
Just a reminder, guys, it is Wednesday, so that means Seattle Public Comments. We need to make sure sometime today that all of us sign up for Seattle Public Comments and tell them to defund the police by 50% and reallocate those funds to Black communities. Again, there are 5 reasons we are out here every single day, 5 reasons why Summer was out here, 5 reasons why Diaz was out here. The faster we get this shit done, the faster we get to go home and get some fucking sleep. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm fucking tired. Are we tired? Yes! 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 I'm fucking tired. So if you guys could just help us a little bit so we can get these damn demands met, that would be amazing.
To Black communities, all the protesters, don't
victory. 5 years is so they can get their money back. 5 years is so they can get their money back. We need to shut it down now. Shut it down. Shut it down. Shut it down. Shut it down. Shut it down.
Whoa. Not in 5 years. Do it now. Not in 5 years. Do it now.
Do it now.
No new youth jail.
No new youth jail.
Shut it down.
Shut it down.
Not in 5 years.
Not in 5 years.
Do it now.
Do it now.
No new youth jail.
No new youth jail.
Shut it down.
Shut it down.
Shut it down!
Shut it down.
We have sign materials up here. You have no excuse. TK said, I'm gonna say it again. Right, there's something you can do right now.
For those who have never been to a morning or night protest, where can we go and what time do we show up?
So you can follow Morning March Seattle on Instagram. Follow Morning March Seattle. That's the latest updates for the Morning March. Follow Picket 4, the number 4 change, period, Seattle, for the middle picketing campaign organized by DT. And follow at Tati Swan. That's TATIISWAN on Instagram for the latest updates on the night march.
Yo, and after you're done making these signs, if you have Sharpies, could you please just toss them up here? Because I use those every single day to help make signs. I mean, if you really need it, you can take it to make more, but yeah, we need the supplies.
And then real quick, today's march is going to be the starting location. This is starting location. Starting location of today is Maple Leaf Reservoir Park, 7:30. Be there or be square, all right? I appreciate y'all. We're out here every day, okay? We are not leaders. We just embody our demands. Every day. We are not leaders. We just embody the demands. All right, listen to black women. Protect yourself. Wash your hands. Call your mama.
Our boy Lucky just materializes out of the mist with a handful of food and coffee.
Using their platform, their cameras. I've noticed a lot of sketchy people. I'm just going to call you out. If you're not on the morning marches, if you're not at peaceful events and good rallies and stuff, then what are you doing here? That's what I want to know. And you want to say, oh, I'm just trying to capture this. I want to see your body at every single thing then. Okay? And I will say that there were a couple of situations out here and I saw people camera in my face like, why are you looking at me? This is not about me. This is about this over here. So why aren't we filming this? Get this on your platform. And I even saw a person walk up, take a couple pictures, and then leave. But I bet you they have a whole lot to say. I bet you they have a whole lot to say when they upload those pictures to their platform. But they don't know what the fuck happened because they weren't here. So if you have friends like that, if you have family like that, call them out, because that's bullshit. Call them out on it. And I was talking to the brother from Fox News just a moment ago. He was here, and he's like, well, I just come where I'm told to go. Yeah, you work for the man. Change it from the inside out. Do something. Are you a puppet on a string? Are you a puppet on a string? Ask yourself that. Ask yourself that. I'm a little worked up because I can't stand for this anymore. I cannot stand for this anymore. Hold yourself accountable. No one should have to hold you accountable. Hold yourself accountable. Accountability? 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 That's what's up.
We got those clip trolls. People love to go ahead and pull clips, troll that out. Clip and snip.
Making food moves when we don't even know what he's
Hashtag
doing.
food moves bamboo.
When I say his name, you say Lorenzo Anderson. Say his name.
Lorenzo Anderson.
Say his name.
Lorenzo Anderson.
Say his name.
Lorenzo Anderson.
Say it louder.
Lorenzo Anderson.
Say it louder.
Lorenzo Anderson.
Lorenzo Anderson was shot and murdered at Chop Chaz, and his family is taking donations. So if you all are able to donate, it would be really, really appreciated. I am pulling up that information right now as I speak. So the Venmo is ABRI_. Again, the Venmo is ABRI_. And the Cash App is $LOVELYABRI. Again, the Cash App is LOVELYABRI. Say his name.
Lorenzo Anderson!
Say his name.
Lorenzo Anderson!
Say his name.
Lorenzo Anderson!
Say it louder.
Lorenzo Anderson!
Say his name.
Lorenzo Anderson!
On that same note, when I say whose world, pockets, you say pockets world. Whose world?
Pockets world!
Whose world?
Pockets world!
Whose world?
Pockets world!
Pocket was the young gentleman, the 16-year-old boy who was shot and killed also in CHOP. When I say his name, you say Robert West. Say his name.
Robert West!
Say his name.
Robert West!
Say his name.
Robert West!
He was the 14-year-old boy who was injured in CHOP. He's in Harborview still. His only request right now is letters from his community to know he's not alone. This is a 14-year-old boy that's sitting in the hospital. So if you have it in your heart, please write a letter to Robert West. You can give it to me, and I will get it there. It's going to Harborview. Somebody who is also not spoken about a lot is DeJuan Young. Say his name.
DeJuan Young!
Say his name.
DeJuan Young!
He was a young man who was shot, I believe it was 3 times, leaving CHOP by a white supremacist who called him the N-word, hard R. You didn't hear this on the media because it didn't fit the narrative that the media was trying to spin. It fit the narrative of Black Lives Matter. Again, he was called the N-word and shot 3 times leaving. He's in Harborview still too. If you can write him a letter, that would be awesome. He's taking donations. I'll find the GoFundMe, and then you can just see me after this to find that if you have it. Any more money to donate. There's this weird narrative that we have surrounding this movement. The live streamers and like Diaz Love and like this young gentleman here and everybody who comes to all of our morning marches, they're getting the real story. Those who come to every march get the real story and see what we're actually doing out here. Is black on black crime a real thing?
No!
Is black on black crime a real thing?
No!
It's a myth hand delivered into us by white people, just like drugs, just like guns, just like all of that. Who knew about before Black Lives Matter, this movement, who knew that police departments were created as slave patrol? Who knew that before this movement? I see a lot more hands down than I see up. That just goes to show our education system is trash. We're not getting the truth. We are not getting the truth, which is a big issue that we have right now. And one of the big problems that we need to face after we're done defunding the police, after we're done reallocating those money, and actually alongside with, we can work on that at the same time. Black on black crime is not a real thing. These kids are taught. There was no reason for a 14-year-old, 16-year-old to be having a shootout. They shouldn't have guns. They should have books. They should have mentors. They should have people who are just talking with them about about their real potential, about their real desires in life and where they want to go. Not telling them, oh, your family is a low income, so you need to help support them. Oh, you're not going to be anything when you grow up. You're nothing. That's what people are told when they're a young black kid growing up. And after a while, you start to believe that. How does a 14-year-old and a 16-year-old help make money for their families? There's not a lot of options to turn to. We need to get these kids education so that they can combat the stereotypes that are being shoved down their throats. They're being played, honestly. Guns and drugs were hand-delivered into our communities. And you know, it's kind of hard to resist temptation, especially when that's all you know. I forgot where I was going with this whole thing. All I know is black on black crime is not a real thing. Proximity killing. That's all it is.
Live by wherever you kill. So white on white crime is not a thing, Mexican on Mexican crime is not a thing. So don't get comfortable saying black on black crime. That just means I live next to black people. So therefore, if I'm gonna kill somebody, they might as well be black. But do not take that as a chance. Proximity killing, look it up. Proximity killing.
When you see a kid, especially a black kid, please just understand them, listen to their story. On top of that, speaking on, this goes into like adoption and things like that, there's a lot of black kids who are in the foster care system, a lot of black kids who are waiting to be adopted. And it's not black families that are waiting to adopt them, it's white families. So I need y'all to educate yourselves and help them be able to live and know their culture and appreciate their culture and live their culture so that they're not ashamed of it, so we don't have internalized racism. There's a lot of issues we need to combat, and I just challenge you to do research across all boards. And I'm gonna get off this mic, but okay, yeah.
Is black on black crime a real thing? No!
Up front, right there in the.
Oh, wow, okay, look at me.
So, hello, I'm Tori, I'm Latina. I had this realization the other day. Do y'all know who Milo Yiannopoulos is? Yeah, real piece of shit. He spoke at the UW a while ago. He's a real racist, fucking, somehow homophobic even though he's gay. I don't know, he's a piece of shit. Anyways, he spoke at the UW. There were a lot of kind of Proud Boys showing up there. And I think that was the last time I used a significant amount of my energy trying to educate Proud Boys. And I slept for about a week after that. But for ages, this thing this guy said kept popping back into my head. You know, it was like an intrusive thought, because being Latino, being a person of color, doesn't mean you're exempt from racism. It doesn't mean you don't internalize racism. I thought I was so fucking ugly for so goddamn long, and I'm cute as shit. So what this guy said to me though is, you know, I was arguing with him and he goes, well, all the kids at my school who started shit, they were black, they were brown. And you know, I couldn't tell him that was a lie, so that thing would pop in my head every now and then. And what I realized the other day is, if you don't accept that the reason that is happening is a systematic problem, it's a systematic inequality, then you're straight up preaching eugenics. Dead ass. So next time you have someone try and be like, oh, black communities, like brown people this is not systematic, tell them they're preaching eugenics, because that is what they're doing. Because if that shit ain't systematic, you're just saying I'm inherently angry and violent and so are the rest of my people, and you are preaching straight up eugenics. Just saying.
Dang. White person, maybe I do.
White person right here.
Hi, so I don't like public speaking at all, but I was inspired by the person that was on earlier that said that they hate public speaking, but we're just gonna do it. So I'm gonna be quick, but I'm sorry?
Back up. You're gonna hit her. You're gonna hit her. You're gonna hit her. Can we talk over here?
Can we talk over here?
Okay, thanks. I just wanted to say that I support this cause because I am not better than anyone because of the color that I was born as. I am not better than anyone else because of my skin color, and no one should think that. That's ridiculous, and it's pure white supremacy, and it's not okay. No one should believe that. and Summer died for that cause, and we should all support that, and that's it. So, yeah, thanks.
Surprise. Woo. Praise the Lord. Ashley. Okay. Not a safe zone. In an ideal time, but I was like, you know, is it from Seattle? Pleasure to meet you. If you ever see me, I'm not scared to talk.
Oh yeah.
Campaign, because it's definitely, look, none of these campaigns or marches are getting enough attention. Morning marches are getting enough attention. The night marches are getting enough attention. The picketing campaign in the middle is not getting enough attention. Okay, so we need to bring more attention to all of these things, but I'm going to speak a little bit on the picketing campaign just because I feel like maybe some of us could use a little bit more information on that. I didn't even know what picketing was like a couple weeks ago. My boy Derek had to put me on. We got back from Portland, and he needed me and another homie to cover for him in front of City Hall. It was my first day picketing, and it was literally me and Mara, and we were walking up and down Mercer with two signs, and literally for that 30-45 minutes, I feel like we made huge impact on every single individual who passed. Okay, whether they decided to pretend they didn't see us, whether they decided to give us a pity honk, you could just see it in their faces, right? So I encourage you to please, we need to be on all fronts. Okay, we need to be on all fronts. We need to be 10 toes down on the ground. We need to be picketing. We need to be sharing on social media. We need to be calling, okay, our politicians. We need to be having conversations. You need to be showing up in every way that you can, all right? So please, if you have any questions, come to me, come to Tati, come to DT, come to any faces you trust here, okay? And if you see faces you don't trust, maybe make a new friend, all right? But listen, picketing4change.seattle, that's the picketing page. They need more attention. Morning March, okay, Seattle, Morning March Seattle, and then Tati Swan, Tatii Swan, SWAN on Instagram, right? Can't stress it enough. I appreciate all you guys, but nothing matters if we don't do anything after today, after right now. All right, we got to keep it going. Every day. All day. Okay.
Hello guys. My name is Ahmed Noor, and I got a phone. I throw with the SIM card. Many people here attack with me, I don't know, with ignore, you know. And I want to prove, even when I'm wrong, I want to stop the wrong. But I want to prove, like my phone number, like my picture, I do shit, you know. I'm tired, I'm homeless, I'm tired, I sleep outside. Every night, people is sending me drone. Drone flow with me 24 hours. Swear to God, I call the police. I'm tired. I'm not see like ignorance, you know. But he don't make me nothing. Money, he say, he die, we shot. Then I say, shoot me right now. When you're enemy with me, I'm walking here, I'm homeless, outside, never go home. But why you enemy? Means, what means it? Can you have proof, guys, with me? Someone, my picture, or my phone number, I send you some shit. I don't use internet. I don't use. I want some proof. Okay, guys, I need proof when you talk myself. I don't want a depression. I don't want ignorance, you know, to ignore the people with, you know, some no proof. Nothing, no proof, it don't work. It don't work. We need proof. Yes, I die right now. Get the gun, but get proof on something you kill the people. Even that job is our job at least. China fair, I don't know. I don't know why. I don't have wife. I'm not scared and die. What? Yeah, Sunday was in worry. What Sunday do?
Yeah, what we're seeing here is a great sign of support, guys. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff happening. This is a downtown area right here, right outside the courthouse. In case you guys are wondering what we're doing here. So basically what we got is a couple things happening. We have the solidarity support for Diaz right now, who we spoke with earlier on Skype, who's in the hospital still.
So what he was saying is that the police do not care about the homeless. There are plenty of black homeless, but all homeless people as well. They do not give a shit.
Sorry, we'll get back to it.
About their press. That's what he was essentially saying, that there needs to be a group. He wants to fight for wrong. Also, caring about black lives is caring about homeless people. That's a huge thing. You can do the easiest things to help homeless people. When homeless people ask you for something and you don't have it, I know most of the time y'all are fucking lying. You can give them a little something. You can give them food. When you go out to eat and all that stuff, you can leave half of your meal. You can donate your stuff to them. You can find people to donate it. You can go to shelters and volunteer. There's a lot to do. When we talk about doing work for black lives, a lot of fucking black people are homeless. A lot of them are homeless. It's not just doing stuff for black... You right, baby. This is not just doing stuff for black lives that have money, are well-dressed, and are presentable to you. It's about literally all black lives. And I cannot stress that enough.
I need to like get the whole thing.
Well, I'm gonna let Ashley speak first, and then I'll go.
Can you guys hear me? I just want to say thank you guys for coming out here. Like, no, I got it. My phone. I'm used to this shit. There's been like a lot of stuff going on between like a lot of different stuff, and I just want to say that you guys coming out every single day. Like, I don't know if you understand, when y'all chant that shit, that's called an affirmation. And every day y'all chant that. Every night I chant that. Like, I can't even stop. I woke up this morning thinking about that shit every day. And now I see it every day, every day, every day. So I don't want y'all to get discouraged. I don't want y'all to be dismissive. I do want y'all to know that you're not out here for no reason. You're out here every day for a reason. You can't say summer season and don't mean it. You know what I'm saying? So I want you guys to know, every black life matters. And I'm glad that Tati was able to translate that for you guys, because I know a lot of y'all were a little distraught and couldn't understand. But I swear to God, it's like speaking Ebonics, because I heard it clear as day when my man was talking too. And it's weird how we can understand. And it's just that, don't be dismissive. Even with this beautiful one woman right here, don't dismiss it. You don't have to attack, you can distract. If you treat them like a child, that's what we're saying. However you need to put our lives to make sure that we matter, do it. And I'm proud that you guys are here today. Thank you.
Good morning. In my language, it's Tatsmewi. That's good morning, you know. And one thing that I want to say to you guys is that you got to remember the ones that are left behind. When you guys are coming up here and you're representing the people, you're representing everybody that you love, because the Lord woke you up. He woke you up. When you come here, you know, He woke you up for this day. He's going to be walking with you. He's walking with you guys. He's standing with you guys, because the ones that are left, He took them home. You know, you're walking here. You're in the God's army. You're there to stand for the ones that don't have a voice. To say, hey, bad is still bad. The devil is still the devil. But the Lord is still the Lord. And we're standing here for the ones that are lost. We're giving them a voice. We thank the Lord. Kautiao in our language. Thank you, Lord, for giving us this day to stand. Because you know what? Right now, that bad is still bad. Don't let nobody ever change that. Bad is always bad. The wolf comes in sheep's clothing. So you got to make sure who you serve, because you're standing up here and the Lord's walking with you. You come here and you remember the ones that he's fighting for, the ones he took home. Yeah, whom do you serve? You serve a Lord. You know, there's moms and there's dads that are crying, that are weeping for the ones that you're standing here for. You know, we all have pain. We all lost. But the Lord knows that too. He died for us. And we're going there and we're being that voice. So when you guys go there, don't you fear what the devil can do. You got power in the name of Jesus. You got power in the name of Jesus. Every knee shall bow, every tongue shall confess that Jesus is the Lord. He's coming to take us home. So when you guys go out there, you guys remember, whose army are you guys in? You guys are in the God's army. You have no fear for the God. Every weapon that is formed against you shall not prosper. I love you guys, and you know what? I go with you guys, and Kautiauya in my language, that's thank you.
Hello, back again. There's a lot of live streams going on, and there's a lot of white people watching those live streams. So I'm a white person who's out here. I've not been out here every single day, but I've been out here enough days to chant every day. And I know a lot of white people who are scared to come out, who are scared for a number of reasons. And so I want to talk about those reasons that people are scared to come out and support this. One is COVID-19. So I just want to say that every day I come out here, the vast majority of people are wearing masks the entire time. Some people take their masks off to eat food or drink water. Every once in a while I see somebody who doesn't have one, and they're usually given one. So everybody's wearing masks and everybody's outside. And that has resulted in protesters testing less than 1% positive for COVID-19. That is less than 1%. So, that's one reason. I'm fine, I promise. That's one reason people are scared and probably shouldn't be. And if you're scared to come to the marches even after I've said that, hang in the back. Don't get breathed on by people, but come out anyway. You won't get COVID. It's very unlikely. Another reason is police violence. And I feel like it should be pretty obvious that white people have a lot less to fear when it comes to police violence. That is why we say white bodies to the front, because when the cops are attacking us, they don't want to hurt white people. Like, they'll hurt you to get to everyone else, but they're not going to fucking kill you. Honestly, it's not going to happen. Some are scared of arrest. I was arrested the first day I was out here. I'm white, so I was fine. Like, I got injured, and I got arrested, and I got held for a while, and then I was released. And it... Yeah. Anyway, so... Huh? I mean, I remember my arrest vividly. Anyway, so, yes, it wasn't that bad. I didn't happen to get a felony charge, so I was released pretty quickly. You might get a felony charge, and you might be held for a couple of days. It sucks, but, like, you'll be fine. Come out here. Also, the cops these days tend to pick off a couple of people as opposed to mass arrests with lots of violence. So your likelihood of getting arrested or injured at all is fairly low. Another reason that a lot of white people I've spoken to are scared to come out here and support Black Lives Matter is that they don't know how to participate. They're scared of being a white person in the crowd who's being a white person. And I get that. I was incredibly scared of that. I still am. For all I know, I'm being a white person right now. Come out here anyway. You don't need to know what to do because you will receive directions. There is a lot of really powerful, wonderful black leadership out here. Listen to black leaders. Listen to black women. They will tell you what the fuck to do. You will be fine. Just come out here. Thank you.
Okay, so I wasn't prepared to speak today, but I just wanted to talk about, so as a white person, I was scared too. My sister actually died in April, and I used to think that I was not scared of death. But when someone close to you dies, you're fucking terrified. But do you know what? There are so many brothers and sisters who are dying every day because of police violence. And that is no excuse. And I know I haven't shown up as much as I should have. But death is no excuse. People are going to die whether or not you're here, so you should be here. And that's all I have.
Hi, my name's Sammy. I haven't really been able to come out here and really picket or do nothing. I've been living in Reedsport, Oregon. Really not much going on there, so I'm excited to be here and support the movement. And one thing that I gotta say is, somebody was talking about white privilege earlier, and I think a lot of us really need to acknowledge the moments that we have it, you know, and when we have utilized it in our lives, and really just think about the other person's shoes, you know, and how they probably didn't get that option. So, anyways, that's all I wanted to say. Have a good one, guys.
Hi. Hi. I'm white passing. No matter where my ethnicity lies, I'm white passing. And I'm going to redirect the conversation here to something that was really shameful for me as a white passing person, as a white person. I grew up in Olympia, Washington. I don't know if any of y'all have been to Olympia, Washington, but it is a white place. Actually, historically, they had in their leases that they would not lease to black people. So, from somebody that was there as a young child, my first memory in elementary school was racist. There was one black person in my class, and I had no idea who she was, where she came from, what her personality was like, and I hated her. For what? I was 5 years old. Yeah. It's a shameful thing to say. It's an embarrassing thing to say. But that's what I'm not seeing. I'm not seeing people talk about how they used to be racist. Because people can't own up to, you know, even with the scandals on YouTube today, we hear, yeah, I did all of this racist stuff, but I'm not a racist. Why are we removing ourselves from that accountability? So I have something to say for somebody who has a following or a platform that is mostly white people that don't listen. Do not unfollow them. Blast their shit. Blast their shit. Where are you? How many black friends do you have? Take a step back. I'm angry. I'm really angry, but you know what? This shame needs to turn into action. Because we can sit here all we want and say, oh, I was racist. Or, I don't know what to do, I'm scared because there's obviously stuff against me where I've been racist before, or I don't have black friends, or I don't expose myself to the truth. I'm really heated about this. But instead of feeling sorry for yourself, people that have a really healthy mentality, it's taken a really, really long time for me to realize this. Healthy people turn that shame into action, take accountability for themselves, and be part of a solution. Anyways, that's all I have to say. Yeah.
Hey, I just want to talk a little bit more about the evening march, the everyday march that goes on in the evening. We have some really strong, amazing black female leadership that runs it. We go to a different place every day. We've been East Precinct, West Precinct, Ballard, Green Lake. Tonight we're going to the Maple Leaf Reservoir Park. That's where we're going to meet, 7:30. We always need more protesters. We always need more drivers for the car brigade. Put it on your Instagram, whatever. If you can't come, share it so other people can come. Because, like, it was the group that Summer and Diaz were with on the morning of July 4th, and we had a huge surge in support after that, but then it's slowly been going away again. So if we could just get more people out there, man, please, please, please. Yeah, really great leadership, and it's always non-violent. It's always totally peaceful. If that's not your thing, there's the ICE protest on Sunday mornings. But yeah, we're just going out. We're going at night after dark to wake up these communities and educate them. We've been going to our city council members' houses.
I hope you guys caught that. One of the things he just said is if nonviolent and peaceful isn't your jam, come to the ICE protest on Sunday.
You got it.
206 684 8804. Oh, hey, we have Alex Peterson's personal cell phone if anybody wants that. Alex Peterson's personal cell phone. Yeah, we're going to call it right now, actually. Alex Peterson's personal cell phone is 206 502 9092. Alex Peterson is one of two of 9 city council members that have chosen not to agree to defund SPD. So we need to call Alex Peterson. We need to tell him to get on board.
And what we're not looking for, I mean, that's public record, I suppose, guys. Keep in mind that what they're encouraging is to call and encourage this individual to lean in the direction of defunding the SPD. They're not looking for violent calls, threatening or menacing calls, looking just to have that, I guess, encouragement for the calls to
This needs to be a
get that vote swayed.
All right, good morning. Welcome to the Morning Update Show. I'm your host, Omari Salisbury. Trayana Holiday has taken a few days off. We were here on air kind of yesterday when she had she had just got some horrible news that one of her family members was one of the people who was recently murdered here in the Central District of Seattle, and we really want to be able to bring some awareness about what's going on in our neighborhood. And so Trayana is out today, most likely probably for the rest of the week. But it did present an opportunity, man, for me to pull in a co-host. And what better person to lean on than my big brother. So I want to welcome my brother Shakundi Salisbury to the show.
Big O, yeah, thanks for having me. Very excited to be here. Even though it's during these trying times, with everything that's going on in the neighborhood and beyond.
Yeah, and so let's just kind of jump right into it. And the thing is, when I talked to you yesterday, like, hey, would you be able to come on to the show? It was we were talking about a shooting and murder that happened the previous night, and now last night there was two other people that were shot on Cherry, on 23rd and Cherry. We were talking, yesterday that Cherry actually has a long memory for people in the Central District as a street that quite a lot of people have lost their lives. But man, what's going on?
The sad part about it is it's so cyclical. Right. As we've talked about, I used to work at Garfield Community Center. I was the coordinator there, assistant coordinator, and this was in the late 90s. And so, we've had, I remember when Dar got shot at the AM/PM there in 1998. And so, it's just ongoing, and we really need to figure it out.
Right. And so, it's an interesting time for us here in our city, and especially being from the Central District, being from the Black community. And after two men were shot on the 2200 block of East Cherry Street Tuesday night, officers were dispatched to investigate shots fired at the intersection of 22nd and East Cherry Street around 10:45 p.m. One person went by ambulance, and then to Swedish, and like another one personal car to Harborview. The reason why I thought that it was important, and you are running for office, 37th district, and all these other kinds of things. But I thought that, and hopefully if we got time, we'll get to that. I know your brother, I can show. It's supposed to hook you up or something. But
I want to talk about the real issues. I feel like the streets know what I'm doing, but I really want to talk about today this youth violence, gun violence in our community. Clearly, this is something that's been going on way before I decided to do what I'm doing now.
Right. I talked about in Young O, as he goes by now, or Omi. I still call him Little O. He's a producer here on the morning show. And, I talked to Little O, and I was telling him that, like, man, when I was his age and attending Garfield High School, we deal with the exact same issues that he's dealing with. The issue of gun violence is generational in Seattle. I know you use the word cyclical, but it's now generational because we've dealt with it, and now our children are dealing with it.
Well, I would say it's both and, right? So, yes, it indeed is generational where, like my nephew, Lil O, Young O. But I guess from my point of view as a promoter and somebody that's been at the forefront all of these years, I say it's cyclical because, people that haven't been paying attention or they don't have a personal impact, they give us a call and they say, oh, what's going on? It's so hot right now. And they really don't remember that it was just 18 months ago or 6 months ago or 10 weeks ago when something happened, but they have a personal connection now. Maybe it's a coworker, a friend, and then that's when they say it's hot.
I get what you're saying, and it takes that personal connection because, I clicked back on around the murder of Connor Dasa Holland because he was friends with Little O. Connor graduated from Rainier Beach, but he also attended O'Day, and he attended O'Day with O. And that's when it really dawned on me, you know, because I saw O affected, and I thought about all the other murders that are occurring where I was just like, man, prayers, you know what I'm saying? We got to do better. But you're right, it isn't until it impacts you. And this is an interesting time right now because we're in protest season here in Seattle and across the country. And, you know, we're talking about the value of Black lives, you know what I'm saying?
Indeed.
And you know, it's interesting. I'm talking to my media colleagues earlier today down at this morning at the King County Courthouse. There was a rally there for Summer Taylor, who was killed on the freeway, and Diaz Love. And I was talking to my other colleagues from different radio and TV stations that were there, and we just talked about how there's so much emphasis on one part of the value of Black lives, but there's very little even media attention on what's going on. I mean, you know, in 3 days you had three black men killed in gun violence. You know, Pioneer Square, somebody killed on the north end. There in the Central District, 2 more people shot last night, and it's usually a byline, or it's usually when it makes the media, someone's just taking the SPD blotter and, you know, extrapolating and making a story, and kind of life goes on, and that's kind of how it's always been in the Central District.
Yeah, I can't say that enough, and that was one of the reasons why, you know, every time I'm personally impacted or called, you know, I've tried to step up, and really make sure that those names are put into the ethos, right? It's an issue when we can talk about, you know, systemic racism and Black Lives Matter, but we can't even say the names of, you know, Little Adi, who was, you know, murdered, you know, the night before last. And so we have to connect those 2 dots, and it's a challenge right now during protest season.
Right. And I mean, I would just, me personally, I would say that, you know, like you say, connecting the dots, there needs to be a connection that the same Black lives that I mean, there has to be a value to it. I've personally been here now. You know what I'm saying? And just in the last 2 months, you know, personally, even whether it's here at the CHOP with Lorenzo Anderson, Antonio Mays Jr., you know what I'm saying? Just right here. We've got 3 more this weekend. And I'm sure in between that gap, because even us guys were so focused here on the protest, that, you know what I'm saying, the Black lives are literally dropping right in front of our eyes here in the city of Seattle.
Yeah, and the question is, what are we going to do about it? You know, and again, we've been impacted by this for years now, and I'm really trying to turn the page to where we can use this protest fire and talk about that. But you know, one of the things, you know, I was on Twitter yesterday, and I'm talking about how we have to deal with, you know, what's going on right here, right now in our community, right? And again, the conversation always turns to, you know, the larger BLM issues across the country and the larger asks, right? But when we start talking about these Black lives that matter today, right? And then somebody died that very night, last night. And so until we can connect those conversations, there's a huge disconnect, and I find it challenging.
Yeah. You know, in yesterday's conversation, like I said, when I was talking to and I spoke with Willard Jimerson, this was right after the murder of Connor Dasa Holland, and we talked about how it's almost been the same story now for years, and also talked about Cherry Street. And so we knew you were coming on here, so we pulled out a few clips. The first one is from 9 years ago. When Shomari Stone was still here, actually shows out there in Washington, D.C. now. Found a clip from Como News 4. And this clip, this segment right here was from 2 years after Tyrone Love was murdered. So Tyrone Love was murdered in 2009, right?
Yeah, it was President's Day weekend, 2009.
So, you know, it's been almost 11 years since Tyrone Love was murdered on Cherry Street, and then 2 years after that is when, in 2011, is when Shomari Stone came down there to Cherry and actually filed this report right here.
Seattle police are asking for the public's help in solving the 2-year-old murder of Tyrone Love.
Investigators say they've had a tough time because witnesses simply won't cooperate. Come 4 Shamari Stone reports officers hope a new approach will offer up new clues.
I'm not at peace.
Christina Bradford wishes she could wipe away the pain as she grieves over the senseless murder of her brother, Tyrone Love.
It's just not fair that this happened to him.
A gunman killed the club promoter 2 years ago while he walked home on East Cherry Street from his job at Pioneer Square.
He was wonderful. He tried to help everybody. He was always working with kids and always pushed people to stay in school.
Tyrone Love was an incredible young man who made some very valuable contributions to the community here.
Seattle police detectives have received several tips over the last 2 years, but they haven't made any arrests. They believe witnesses saw plenty, but refused to cooperate. Witnesses told police that the killer ran to the street, hopped in a car, and sped off. Some of those witnesses aren't giving detectives their names because of the no snitch rule.
And this no snitching attitude is just something that's really terrible. It is not okay to be standing at the bus stop next to a murderer.
We're again asking for the community's assistance with this investigation.
Police have teamed up with a community group, Silent War Campaign, to solve the case. They will put up 10,000 flyers over the next few days and tap people in the club entertainment world to get the word out.
The club scene is the access to find people from all walks, no matter what it is. You're going to celebrate something.
The Love family would love to celebrate when police catch the suspect, giving them a sense of closure. In the Central District, I'm Shamari Stone, Como 4 News.
So yeah, that was 9 years ago. That clip right there on Como News 4. Thank you, Como. Followed by Shamari Stone, right here on Cherry Street. You know, the same. That's what I'm saying is it's like years past, but for people from the Central, a lot of these stories remain the same.
Yeah, it's so cyclical and generational, and that clip right there just is real triggering for me. You know, honestly, you know, again, Tyrone Love was somebody that as a promoter, I had kind of taken underneath my wing. He worked at C-Spot with us, and he was really on his way to become who knows what he was going to be, but he was actually out there with us. I think one of the things that's lost in the Tyrone Love story is that he was one of the main impetus. We were out putting up the posters for Break the Silence. So he was actually trying to break the silence on crime in our neighborhood and murders in our neighborhood. And then, in fact, he was murdered himself. So, you know, and again, and it's just been ongoing. But, you know, one of the things I like to talk about with that campaign, and I really want to do a resurgence because I've been talking to folks like Willard as well. And we need to really keep these names alive. The community, you know, that's one of the things we can do while we're certainly asking for, you know, additional resources from other folks. We really need to hold ourselves accountable. Somebody knows who has the gun. Somebody knows who did it. And we need to also work on precluding that, of course, through, you know, intervention, the stuff that, you know, Dom and Community Passageways and others are doing. But we also need to work on getting the guns out of the hands of the known shooters. People, so they cannot shoot again. And that is something that we as community have to do. You know, and shout out to, SPD at the time, 11 years ago, they paid for those flyers for us to hand out to try to find, you know, the murderers of Tyrone Love.
And it's still unsolved.
Yeah, it's still unsolved, and and in fact, in an unrelated murder, there was an elderly woman that was murdered on my block. And the homicide detectives actually came to my house to investigate that. Did we see anything? And I had a chance to ask them about the Tyrone Love murder. And, you know, again, like they said on the clip, they feel as though they've got information, but they're not able to connect the dots. And, you know, that's one of the reasons why we had launched that, the whole changing of the snitching code, right? The fact is, if you see something, you need to say something. And so we as a community, Black Lives Matter, we need to be able to say that, listen, like Reverend Walden, our mother said, it's not okay to be next to a murderer on the bus. If somebody shot and killed somebody in your neighborhood, we need to talk about that. And murder is wrong, right? And yes, in fact, we can get into, prisons and the like, and how we do handle criminal justice. But at the end of the day, whether it's criminal justice or restorative justice, however we deal with these folks, it is not okay to murder somebody in our neighborhood and then continue to walk around. And, it's just unacceptable.
Right. Now, we found a clip because we went back 9 years, and then we found a clip from earlier this year, and there was this particular murder out in South Seattle, like I said, of Connor Dasa Holland, who was good friends with my son, with little O, that really got me, super active about it. And that's where we hooked up with Willard Jimerson for his show, Good Game Alert. Good Game Alert. That was something that me and Willard had kind of talked about for a while, but it was the murder out there of Connor Dasa Holland. I was like, bro, it's just too many people that are, that I see now that are impacted. And unfortunately, they've always been there. And sometimes you only find what you're looking for. And it wasn't until my son was so impacted, I'm like, man, how can we use our media platforms and everything else? And Good Game Alert came on. But there's a clip right here. Actually, you're in this one from King 5 when they covered a vigil around Connor Dasa Holland.
We love you all.
Alicia Dasa Holland.
We love you.
Is just beginning to mourn the loss of her son Connor, finding compassion among her grief.
Whoever did this to my son, that baby needed a hug. That baby needed more love in their life.
Seattle police don't know who shot at the car 18-year-old Connor was in Sunday night. He was hit by a bullet and would later die at Harborview Medical Center. Police are now asking for the community's help, a community that's hurting.
And we have to figure out how to make sure every kid in this community and every community is loved, that they get enough love.
And this is why one of the reasons we're here today is to make sure that his legacy is not marred. We're not going to move on. We're going to talk about all of the greatness that Connor is and was, and we got to make sure that his name is not dragged through the mud like it.
Wow, and that was King 5's coverage earlier.
Yeah, that was a crazy day. So I looked. I don't know what woke me up that night, but I looked at I had an Instagram message from the family, Connor's mother Alicia, at about 3:50 when she had just came home from the hospital, and I don't think she would mind me sharing it. Basically said my hands are covered in my son's blood. We need to make sure that that this doesn't happen again. And clearly it's happened, many times here in the last few weeks. And so to that end, I've been working with that family, the Dasa family, to we've got a campaign going called Walk Away from Violence. And so there's going to be some things around that. The other piece with that, Omari, is I was also approached by Willard and members of the community, and they charged me with figuring out a way, as we've done with Tyrone Love and others, to say the names of these other young people. And as you know, the Salisbury, we're good at projecting and getting the word out. And so I've got a site coming. It's called sayour.name. So it's SAYOUR .NAME. So that's a new site that we've got coming out, and it's going to really speak to keeping the legacy of all of these young people who have died of gun violence, their name alive.
Right, and one of the things we committed ourselves to here at Converge is we wanted to be able to make our platform open, for these parents and family, and it remains open. We've caught up with Donita Sinclair quite a few times. It was her son Lorenzo Anderson who was murdered here at the CHOP, and actually going out, I think on Saturday afternoon they have an event. But you know, for community members, because another thing that doesn't happen as well is people aren't able. It's important that the community that we say the name. But, you know, a lot of parents who suffer these losses in our community, they've never been able to go anywhere to really speak about their children. And one thing about the Converge platform is, like, we pride ourselves in a longer format. My colleagues over there at the broadcast stations, they're in a tough spot. They got a minute and a half to tell a whole story, or 3 minutes. So, you know, that door remains open. I know a lot of parents, you know, are out there grieving still. They're in a grieving phase. But whenever you want to come out here and come and tell our community, and this Converge was born and raised in the Central District of Seattle, and we continue to serve. Yeah, we continue to serve our community, CD, South, and of course Seattle as a whole. But, you know, our door is open, you know what I'm saying, for people who want to come in and talk more about this.
You know, one of the things that, and that's dope, because we do need that. And that's what, like I said, parents have come to me personally and said, well, you know, Kun, how come you're not talking about my son? Right? And I guess and I really didn't have an answer for that. And that's why I created that site. And it's great to be able to have this platform for parents to come to. But one of the things I had said that didn't make it in the clip from King 5 is that, you know, until we as community, right, and I'm really speaking to black community as well, because that's the community I come from, right? But until we as a community begin to look at other people's children in the way that we look at our own children, right? And it's not just a hashtag. We have to look at it and care, right? And it can't just be until, you know, you see a hashtag and then all of a sudden your son, like in the case you talk about, little O, is gravely impacted that, oh, now it's an issue.
Well, you know, but so here's the thing is, and you bring up an interesting point, because in the Western Barricade, people got smacked. This is the first 8 days of the protests here on Capitol Hill. People sat there. You saw the video. People sat there, got tear gas. They got pepper sprayed, rubber bullets, all for people that they never met, for the idea and the concept of the value of black lives. And I think that so clearly there's a passion when you talk about people caring more than beyond just themselves. Right. Clearly people have the capacity to do that, because if you're willing to come out there and be on that front line every single day, and for people that you'll most likely never meet, you know what I'm saying, and maybe have no connection to, you could take that same passion and turn it towards community. You know what I'm saying? And we can really put faces to names around people, you know, in the community that could benefit from all that passion that clearly people have. It isn't like Seattle's full of dormant people. I mean, people take it to the streets.
Indeed. And I guess that's really what we need to do. And specifically, though, in this community, in the black community, we really need people to be engaged on a daily basis, right? It's going to take all of us to turn this tide, you know, around youth gun violence. And like I said, you cannot wait till it washes up on your shores or on your door, you know, death come and knocks at your door, that, you know, and my inbox is repeatedly filled. And honestly, I don't like to say, you know, because people are going through trauma at the time, but part of me, when I get an inbox from people and they say, "Come, what's going on? You know, it's so much death right now." You know what? It was so much death 6 months ago. It was so much death 12 months ago. Obviously, it was so much death 11 years ago. It's just that it mattered to you today. And they say, well, come, we got to do something. Well, yeah, but we need that same energy every time. Like, we need that all the time. And that's really the challenge, is how do we keep a sustained energy for life and love in our district and in our community and beyond.
A sustained energy for life and love. I think that's a good place to leave it for this segment. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, you know, I guess we'll jump into the other news, since you're co-hosting today. We'll jump into the other news of the day, and then we'll also talk about your candidacy for the 37th district. You are watching the Morning Update Show.
All right, let's go.
right, welcome back to the Morning Update Show. I'm your host, Omari Salisbury, and filling in for me today, is my brother, Shakundi. And I'll be honest with you, though, man. I mean, you're cool, but, man, Treyana, she radiates. You know what I'm saying? It's all right. I'm gonna work with this. I'm gonna work with you today, man. You know what I'm saying? And we're definitely sending a lot of love and positivity out to Treyana and her family.
Indeed, she does radiate, and I love, when I watch the show, and she just asks provocative questions. She shines, and that's why the show is successful, right? Because you got you and her.
Yeah, that's definitely you got the square bear, the free spirit. All in one. All right, so we got a lot of clips to move through, and the big boss Oya said we got to end on time today. She said, "Oh, you've been taking these shows too long." So let me jump right into this. Me and Jake were down at the King County Courthouse earlier today. There was a rally there in support of Summer Taylor's family and for Diaz Love, who's still in the hospital there at Harborview. Actually, I'm interviewing Diaz today at 3 o'clock. I think we're going to do a live stream. So 3 o'clock, I'll catch up with Diaz Love. But TK was down there. People have been following TK in the streams for almost 2 months now. And so we talked to TK shortly. Here's the clip.
And so we're going to make sure he pays for what he did. He killed somebody deliberately. He wasn't under the influence. He wasn't mentally unstable. He was in his right state of mind and deliberately did this. Like, it was purposely done. He could have avoided hitting anybody, and he chose not to. I don't care what anybody has to say, really, honestly. You don't have to like me. You don't have to be my fan. You don't have to be a supporter. I don't care. But justice is justice, period. And what he did was commit murder. So whether you agree with what we're out here doing, or whether you agree with what we're saying or not, the fact of the matter is, we clearly killed someone on purpose and injured another, and he deserves to go get punished to the fullest extent of the law. Regardless if you agree with us or not, that is fact, and you cannot argue with it. Regardless if you don't have to agree with our politics and what we're doing out here. You don't have to agree with the movement. But justice is justice, and we deserve, Summer Taylor's family deserves justice.
So now is there an added reason to stay in the streets? I know before, there's the 5 demands, which you guys just listed off, sometimes number 6.
Yeah, sometimes number 6.
You didn't bring up demand number 6 today, but it's okay. But are you now more intent on staying out here in protest season? A lot of people kind of think that protest season's coming to an end. Where are we at in protest season?
Stay tuned, man. There's a lot of stuff coming. Protest season just started. Literally, the budget vote is next week. Oh, you guys think we're finna quit? You're right. Summer and Diaz will kick our ASSs if we quit. Protest season ain't over. Ain't no protest season. It's summer season all year. And this is what we own. Beating our feet to the streets like we do every single day. It's working, ain't it? It's working. You don't have to agree with it, but it's working. This is just the beginning. We're just getting started, literally. It's just the beginning.
All right, so that was TK there, and then also on the full live stream, Diaz actually did a Facebook video call, which was really interesting. And then also Summer Taylor's mom came and addressed the crowd and everything else. And yeah, I mean, it's definitely a lot of passion right now, a lot of passion in the streets, especially with this group. And I'll be honest with you. So this is, I was, as you know, I was there on the freeway, right. And actually was just talking to TK on the freeway. They just got done doing the cha-cha. And, when everything happened, so there was a lot of people today there at the courthouse I hadn't seen since that day on I-5. So it was even a bit emotional for me, you know what I'm saying, and going down there and covering it. And at first it was Jake down there. And then, I was like, man, let me, let me go down there. And I'm glad that I did. It was good. But man, there's a lot of passion in the streets, Cun. I know that you were down here a few times during the Western Barricade as well, man. What are your thoughts quickly? I know it wasn't built into the show schedule today, but what are some of your thoughts about the protest?
My thought is that, like what TK said, we can't stop now. And whether you agree with some of the methods or not, it's getting the results. The needle is being pressed. The gas is the foot is the foot is to the pedal. And the results are being done. Me personally, I had to take a puff of my asthma medicine and exit stage left.
Bobby still laughs because I was, because I was doing the Seattle Police PD. Their posture has changed. The bicycle officers who don't have gas masks are being tapped out by the officers with gas masks. Cause
hey, look, man,
we were like, you go ahead, bro.
Hey, but you know what? And I'm gonna tell you like this. Many people know I have a few clips out there. I led a few protests myself. I was there, on May 30th. I led some protests.
Actually, there in that Seattle Times documentary, the very beginning.
Exactly. I'm in the beginning of that, and so again, the time that I have, I put it in, and so I'm not trying to shame anybody that hasn't been.
The thing is that what you see is I think that the conversation. The people who could come or did come or whatever, the Western Barricade, they came.
Yeah.
And people remember if they were here or not here. But at the same time, there's other people who are diligently working, because they might be policy wonks or this and that. I think it's probably just the people who've done nothing. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I don't think you necessarily, you don't necessarily, if you're into protesting or if you're into social change, you don't necessarily need to be at every protest.
Well, I came to check on you, man.
I know you came here my birthday. I spent my birthday on the barricade. You came down here,
and I didn't even get to cut of the barbecue. I got a problem with that. Okay, because your actual birthday, I was here. We was right outside on the Western Barricade.
We were right there on the Western Barricade for my birthday. No, this is true. I think we'll have you. We have a special coming up in a few days with people from the community view of the protest. You know what I'm saying? So we'll make sure and bring you back on that.
I'd love to be a part of that. I was actually on a few lives that night. And I know there's been a lot of issues around the police chief and the issues that you guys have been here every day. But I really believe that night, it just seemed like officers were kind of doing their own thing, and there's a real disconnect between the leadership at SPD and the line officers, and it was just crazy that night. And I was just worried about you personally, and I was like, "Come on, we gotta get out of here. It's your birthday." So I'm glad you're healthy.
I didn't leave past midnight though. I was like, we gotta wait for it. So, man, moving things along. Now, it was a big announcement yesterday by County Executive Dow Constantine via Twitter. Twitter's a way people are letting people know what's going on these days, and I'm sure we'll get a bigger plan out of him. Also, we've invited Executive Constantine on our show. Hopefully, we'll hear from him. I know he has a big, the State of the County address coming up. We'd love to talk to him about COVID. We'd love to talk to him about the youth jail, about other initiatives here, property taxes, as well as protest season. So I'm talking to his people. So hopefully, we'll get the county executive on here because now the spotlight just keeps moving around on people. But anyway, so I mean,
it's like TK said, it's working.
Man, this is this is from our partners at the South Seattle Emerald. Says that he's phasing out centralized youth detention. Phasing out centralized youth detention is no longer a goal in the far distance, Constantine wrote in a tweet. We have made extraordinary progress and evolved to believe that even more can be done. And basically what they're saying is that by 2025, they're converting all remaining youth detention units at the Children and Family Justice Center to new use by 2025 and to closing the Seattle jail. Apparently that was a leaked email, you know what I'm saying? Well, welcome to government. But I mean, he tweeted about the youth detention, but apparently there's a leaked email about the executive wanting to close the jail as well. But since it's leaked, We'll stick to the detention center at the moment. What are your thoughts about that?
I'm super excited about that. As you you do know because you're my brother, but if folks may not know, the C-Spot Media Group office is on the corner of 14th and Jackson there. We've been there for 18 years, so most certainly in proximity to the facility and the trauma that families have been going through. I know a lot of people that have worked there, and so, yeah, I'm very excited about it. And, personally, I want to see it'd be great to make that into some kind of co-working space for nonprofits like my own 100 Black Parents, where we can offer services in that building for our community. So yeah, I'm very excited about it, and salute to the folks that really have been wearing the no youth jail shirts for years.
I would just let you know. So Nikita, she's somewhere in here. I think she's in the article here. But anyway, they're like, yeah, okay, cool, but man, that's too long from now. 2025.
Yeah, I saw that.
Step on the gas. Nice try. But ZYD's actually been a movement for a while. A long time.
One of the things that I've kind of, always, one of the issues that I always had with that as a project manager. So I work for the city as well, and I'm a project manager. I manage capital projects, right? And once the money has been allocated by law, you can't necessarily change. You can't spend that money on something else. Right, so I always kind of see that as an outlier comment around the youth jail. Is that then once the money was allocated, we'd have to vote and change that.
It'd be interesting to ask Executive Constantine, because it's like, man, was your plan always to spend the $200 million on the jail and then flip the script, or is it like he's now more aligned and in tune with the streets? So Nikita Oliver tweeted, "Stop jailing our kids now. There's no reason to wait till 2025. Indeed. Let youth decide how to repurpose it." And then there was another one where it's it was quite a few tweets in here that were saying, like, we don't want to wait 5 years.
Yeah, I don't think we should wait 5 years either. Like I say, obviously we have, all of the murder last night. We need as many spaces in this community where we can provide positive, youth programming and positive family support programming as possible. And that's most certainly a huge building that we can do that in.
We're gonna pick up another. We had a lot of topics today, but we spent a lot of time in the first segment talking about youth violence, which is important, and I'm glad we did. Let me pick another one here. Metro. So you had people who work for the county. Speaking of the county, although I know you work for the city, they came out and they talked about racism within the county system in Metro. Can you put that clip up, Oya, or the graphic?
Right.
And so we were talking before the show. It said a picket and rally draws attention to ongoing racism in King County workplaces, including Metro.
Yeah, right. I mean, I would think that this is really just the tip of the iceberg. I know as a city of Seattle employee, it's really been a tale of two cities, if you will. We continue
for 130 years.
Well, yeah, of course, right. And I guess but even just recently in the last decade, we continue to have the talk about the race and social justice toolkit and how we approach things. We have lots of trainings and the like, but the practice, does the what I like to say is does the impact match the intent? And I would think that the county most likely has all of the same things that we have, at the city, where they have all types of internal things.
All I know is this: we got to cut to a break.
Yeah, go ahead.
That I can't really speak on the county, but I was on some call with the city black employees or something.
And
it was a few months ago, and man, they were just talking about. They were like, man, all this stuff looks good to the public, but it's like, man, they're marginalized within the city of Seattle system. Can't go too deep with you.
That's completely true. I was on one of those calls. I'm part of the Black Employee Network, and and I'm on those
caucus.
Yeah, the Black Caucus. Shout out to them and the emails that they keep coming. But yeah, there's a true disconnect, and Metro employees are tired of it. And the other side is that while we're over here mad, the Black employees, and very disenfranchised, this entire system is emboldening the folks who would even place that statue. At the the racial epithet that was placed in Metro that kind of kicked some of this off.
Yeah, I mean, well, and I think that anybody would be foolish to think that the issues that have plagued, our city from its beginning would just go away. And this is why, I think that platforms like this and other platforms that are engaging the conversation are important, because we see that ink on paper, you can't legislate people's hearts and minds. You know what I'm saying?
Part.
You can put ink on paper, you can sign a bill or whatever, but we see that even on the presidential level, Obama does one thing, Trump does another. You know what I'm saying? Here on the local level, if we can't really change people's hearts and minds, then it's ink on paper, and we'll find that 3 or 4 years from now, someone will just reverse it.
Well, you know what I said at one of the rallies to teach in the other day, and a rally I did in May, is that we really need some of the folks that want to work with us. We need to end that white silence and the protesting. We need to take that protesting back to your workplace. And when you see, racist things that happen, like on a job panel, or people not getting the raise that they're supposed to get, or getting passed over, we need our white colleagues to say something. Right? It cannot just be this group of disenfranchised, angry black people who are mad, on some call like the caucus. We need our coworkers to be just as mad. And I think that's what King County workers are saying right now. How come you're not as mad as we are? And there's, these kind of, placid memos that come out. But we really need that engagement from our coworkers, period.
Right, we're going to take a short break right now. We've got a few minutes left, but we're going to talk about you, Shikundi Kunlove, as the candidate for the 37th district, spot number 2, right?
Yeah, spot number 2.
Okay, you're watching the Morning Update Show. All right, welcome back to the Morning Update Show. I'm your host, Omari Salisbury. Treyana Holiday is out today. So, my brother's doing what you're supposed to do. Call my brother, be like, hey, man, why don't you fill in and co-host with me, man?
And I'm trying to radiate like Treyana would be.
Bro,
you might
as well give it up. All right, so you're running for office, and the thing is, the morning show's been on air before you even
Right.
put your name into the hat to run for office. This is your first time on the show.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, and
I be at work every day.
Yeah, I'm just people know. You know what I'm saying. And it's funny because people are like, man, your brother running for it's like they got a sign there that says "Grill him." You see the sign, like right there.
Yeah. Somebody said that. We hope you win so your brother can grill you all the time. I said, well, bring it on.
I'm gonna put you on the press too. But first of all, we'll start off with some good news for you here, and so you can put this one up, all you. This is from the Seattle Times, and actually, we were supposed to run a segment about the Seattle Times Digital today, but of course, this news out of the Central District, we're going to move that to tomorrow. Right. The Seattle Times endorsed you. Won't go too deep into it because we don't have a lot of time, but it had a few nice things to say about you, huh?
Yeah, I'm very excited. I mean, obviously, I'm really from here, and I remember when you used to have op-eds in there as a teenager, right? So for me to be endorsed,
I was a paper boy.
Yeah, I was
for Seattle Times. We both had routes at the Seattle Times.
Man,
that might have been why they gave you the endorsement. They looked you up and saw that like years ago you were a paper boy.
Yeah, I didn't get all my money as a paper boy,
right?
So, but no, I'm just like I said, I'm really excited, and I feel like they, they really spoke to the great qualities of our campaign, and what people want. And so, I love that endorsement, and I think it's very true.
All right, so you got a hat on, so just tip down just a little bit so they can see the bill of your hat right there. It says Herb Vote. You could 20 seconds here. Tell us what Herb Vote is. We actually have a clip that we're going to play as well. I think it's from Q13.
Yeah, so Herb Vote is the Urban Vote Project. I started it in 2014 just as a way to engage our community, civic engagement, and I've been doing it ever since, and it's really taken off, to tell the truth.
Right. So if we could play this clip right. Hold on, when was this from? This was from
2018.
So 2 years ago. Go ahead, Alia.
Q13's Nadia Romero explains the rules of who can vote and how.
Yes, we're with a real organization and we're doing real work.
Herb Vote plans to get out the vote with its vibrant and passionate leader, Chikundi Salisbury, at the helm.
I'll just type my name in.
Equipped with a tablet and a message, Chikundi and others meet people where they're at. You can see their stops on their Instagram page, barbershops, concerts, and other social events. Outreach efforts to get people registered to vote, partially funded by a $10,000 grant from King County Elections and the Seattle Foundation. Votes from people with criminal pasts like felony convictions.
So long as you are not under the supervision of the Department of Corrections, so basically incarcerated, you are eligible to vote. Your rights are automatically restored here.
Washington State's law challenges conventional thinking.
There's a national feeling that if you're a felon, that you can't vote.
But in Washington State, once you're not under correction supervision, you can re-register and vote.
When did you get off of supervision? He said, man, I haven't been in trouble in 10 years. And I said, well, you can vote then. And just the look that came over him, right, was just amazing. Just a whole energy. It's like you kind of won the lotto or something, right?
And the right to vote in Washington State includes another vulnerable population, people experiencing homelessness.
Tons of homeless folks are elated when they find that out, right, that they can, in fact.
You're going to have to talk to Treyana Wardrobe people because it look like you got the same hat on.
It is, in fact, the same hat 2 years later, man. You know what? I'm like you. I wear my hat around the world, around the neighborhood.
All right. And so, I mean, clearly, if that was 2 years ago, you know, what got you passionate about trying to raise awareness about people voting and being involved in the process?
Well, you know what? I spent my whole life as being a credible messenger, right? And what I found is that many people in our community, it's not the issue, it's who tells you about it, much like Converge. And so we had people who didn't really know that they could vote. Even though there's a lot of messaging about being able to vote, it wasn't until somebody like me came into the barbershop and said, no, you can, in fact, vote. And just seeing the response on a person's face. I talked to a young Herman. I don't know if you know Herman, but last night he said, man, I'm 36 years old, and I didn't know I could vote. Nobody told me. So, I mean, it's a great feeling to empower people through civic engagement, and I get a kick out of it every time.
All right. So you're running for 37. So now I got to put you in the hot seat just like everybody else. You know, it's like everybody's watching. You know, Mayor Durkin watching, the chief, you know what I'm saying? Dow Constantine, Governor Inslee. It's like, let's bake it. First of all, man, what makes you qualified to even run for the 37th? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'll be honest with you. You know, a lot of people know you as an entertainer, cut love, this and that. Some other people know that you know, working for the city and the Parks Department. Bobby Steele's got the Grill 'em Hard sign up there. Why are you even qualified to run for the 37th?
You know what? I'm uniquely qualified to run for this position because, as you mentioned, I've been an entertainer for years and connected across this community through real connections with families, you know, so through some of their best events. But on the flip side, I've been a 23-year city employee. I've managed $1 million budgets for over 20 years, managed staff, presented to council, developed policy, inputted on policy, and the like. So I most certainly had the qualifications to run for this position, not only professionally, but personally.
So, I mean, have you been involved in the machine, so to speak? Like, do you understand? So here's the thing is, there's one thing to be out in front and want to run, and people, it's the best thing about our city and country. You can just run. Is there anybody else who's supporting your run? We see the Seattle Times is supporting your run.
You know, I have an amazing amount of community support, business leaders, faith leaders, people, you know, like...
So, you know, I'm going to call him and ask him. I'm like, man, Cud came on my show talking about you support him. Do you really support? Yeah, I did that. You know, I did that with the mayor. I'm like, who you talking to? Who are you with? Mayor Durkin, who are you talking to? Cud, Who are you dealing with, man?
Well, you know what? And every one of my people have vouched for me, and I think that's really what this campaign is built on, is authentic connections. You know, these aren't just people that I called out the blue. I've worked with the folks in this community for, 30 years. And so, and it's starting to connect, and people get that.
So, I mean, the thing is that everybody talks about the 37th district, one of the most diverse probably in the state, maybe one of the diverse, at least it used to be in the country.
Right.
And speaking of used to be, let's start right there. What's up with gentrification, man? You know what I'm saying? What are you going to do about it? What are your thoughts on it?
You know what? One of the things I've been saying, well, first of all, yeah, my thoughts is that, again, progressive Seattle has let us down. Right. And I talk about this all the time in the rallies that I talk at. We have consistently as a community took the L. Right. We talk about House Bill 1918, where there was really a concerted effort to run African Americans out of this area. It was a plan. And so we need people to acknowledge that, right? And now we need to repair
but who
it.
needs to acknowledge it? Because House Bill 1918 passed both houses unanimously, which even means that the representatives and senators from Okanagan County and Ponderay County and Spokane and Walla Walla, the whole state legislature unanimously agreed that there's been systemic racism, especially targeting African Americans in the Central District. That was in like May of last year. In July, almost a year ago, Governor Inslee signed this document, House Bill 1918. So the legislature is like, hey, man, we did acknowledge. Who locally needs to acknowledge House Bill 1918 and put that bill to work in our community?
Well, I think part of that bill is being put to work now. I would say that it's part of the foundation of King County equity now, and a lot of the protests and things that are going on now in terms of the property transfers, in terms of a real conversation about reparations, and so that is the foundation. So we need the organizations within the locally. For example, we're talking about these property transfers. That is exactly the folks that need to recognize that piece, right? So, yeah, locally, when we're talking about these Sound Transit properties, that is, in fact, who needs to recognize that the folks were.
So, Sound Transit, where's the camera at over? Sound Transit, I don't know who the director is. We gotta find the director of Sound Transit today, and we want to know your position on House Bill 1918 and how you're going to work, since it passed both houses unanimously and signed by Governor Inslee, how you're going to work, through authority of your office of Sound Transit to work with the community. So I'll follow up on that. You believe we'll probably hear from him today.
Yeah, let's follow up on that. So you're right. Like at a state level, this has been identified. And so now we need to have it permeate all the way down through. Really through decisions locally at our institutions like the city of Seattle where I work, right? We're talking about those. I'm in meetings.
Yeah, that's the problem. The city's always talking. I know you don't control it on that level, but man, the city, you're talking out the side of your neck.
That is true to a certain degree, right? We all serve at the pleasure of the mayor, right, as a city employee, and I can just tell you.
And the mayor's like, why are you bringing me up? Damn, can I get one day off?
Well, I'll put it this way. Staff, line staff and the people that work there, the true workers like the King County Metro employees that are talking, we want to see real change.
All right, so a few other things here, and they're giving me the sign. People think that I run the show over here, but it's actually all you.
I see that.
Who runs the show. So, it's one thing to work for, you said you manage millions of dollars for the city, but the city got hella systems and infrastructure and everything else. And the city managing money in the city will happen, but before you were there and after you were there, what kind of experience can you, and really if you go talk to a small business owner, I'm a small business owner, or in the 37th, what relationship or history do you have as being a business owner? It's one thing working for government and be like, yeah, I manage budgets for government. How are you going to talk to business owners?
I think if people look at my platform and hear my backstory, I have a backstory on every piece of my platform. And specifically to your question around business, I connect with business owners because I've had a business that's been run out of business as a result of government. You remember I had the Metropolitan Barbershop on Martin Luther King.
You used to charge me for my cuts.
Yeah,
Couldn't even get a free cut.
The light rail came and shut us down. You know, they had big things of dirt in front of our door. We were unable to do business. So I've had a business that's been impacted by a crazy thing. Not obviously not COVID, right? But when I talk to business owners and what they need as a business owner, I pay B&O tax. I've maintained an office, the C-Spot Media Group office here for 18 years, right? So, I can connect with business owners in a real way. And if you look at the platform on everything on there, when we talk about police accountability, as you know, we've been working with our mother as a result, with Mothers for Police Accountability for 30 years. As you had on the show. So again, everything on my platform, I have a personal backstory that I can connect to people in this community about work that I really did.
All right, so one of the stories we pulled out, I got 3 minutes, so we'll keep it short. So I'll just is COVID and school opening. My nephew, school age, how are you feeling about potentially sending him back to school?
I'm very cautious. I really don't want him to go back to school. My son obviously benefits from having a computer, but the thing that I saw is that my son is very social, and many of our young people are social. We need that social interaction. He is actually suffering. My son had all A's, and then this year, this is the first time he didn't get all A's because he didn't see the value in tuning into the Zoom, right? So I want to work with ways to find where we can still have some kind of personal interaction, and maybe that's outdoor classrooms.
Right, and speaking of that, 6 p.m. tonight, Community Voices, we have School Board Director Hersey, School Board Director Hampson, and School Board Director DeWolf. Community Voices, we're talking about COVID in Seattle Public Schools and educational justice. One other thing here is that, so they call you Mr. Green Thumb. and then we got to get out of here. But I bring that up is that when I did sit in at one of these debates or calls they had, and I guess I'm throwing you a softball here, but they said that you are the closet environmentalist. Most people don't know that you spent like 20 years on environment or something.
Yeah, I posted a link yesterday where I was working on the Duwamish reclamation and environmental justice issues on the Duwamish in 1995. Right, and that's a real link. And so, at the end of the day, and to this day, I'm the environmental sustainability manager at Seattle Parks and Recreation. I'm a real environmentalist. I know that they don't usually wear Air Force Ones.
I say this is a fly. Well, a lot of people don't know. I got a degree in geology.
That's right.
And I got a degree in geology and a minor in environmental science.
Well, and at the end of the day, that's been one of the worst parts of my career is that I'm always second judged because I don't look like most people's version, or vision of what an environmentalist looks like. But I've truly been one my entire life.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, Con, and you definitely gonna have to go earn it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I mean, man, I wish there wasn't so much tragic news on the front end of the show because I want to grill your ass right here. You know what I'm saying? This is my get back for all the years. This is for all the years.
Well, you know what? I'm welcome to come back at any time.
We have to bring you back on here and talk about a few things. But I will tell you this, is that the city of Seattle as a whole, what we've seen here in Converge, the city of Seattle, which definitely includes the 37th district and outlying areas, the one thing I find about the city of Seattle is it might not necessarily be as polarized as we think for people that just want to bring an honest, true, and credible message. And right here, this Converge platform kind of proves it. And, I don't know what bill that I fit. It definitely don't look like the standard reporter or journalist that people see on the evening news. But, man, we've been able to capture the attention of people in Seattle, especially voters, just because we're keeping it real and trying to have an honest conversation. And, I'm one of those people I tell all the time, I'm smart enough to know what I don't know. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot that I don't know. These guys teach me something here every day, and we try to connect with people on a human level. And so I just say this to you is that I prejudged myself as well, thinking that, man, Seattle's not going to really accept me. I look this way. I talk this way. I'm in my shorts all the time. Blah, blah, blah. I talk this way on the microphone. But I come to find out that Seattle is a city that really just rocks with authentic people.
Yeah, and we're really ready for the new normal. I think Converge is an excellent example of that. People are ready for change. And the fact that we're consuming news the way that you are delivering it is a perfect example of that. And that's one of the things things I'm trying to really relay with my campaign is that we need a radically different type of person, a person that may not look like the kind of candidate that you're used to seeing. And in fact, I don't look like anybody that's ran for office in this position in a long time. So thank you for having me.
All right, real quick before we get out, how can people catch up with you?
Yeah, so I'm on Twitter at Shakundi 206. That's CHUKUNDI 206, and I'm on Instagram at Shakundi CHUKUNDI, and I'm on Facebook.
And your campaign?
And my campaign is Shakundi.com. Yeah, CHUKUNDI.com.
All right, Shakundi Salisbury, candidate for 37th District, and also my big brother. Thank you for joining us. You know, we always stand up at the end of the show.
Oh, okay.
So
we're
gonna stand up right here.
You can see who's a little bit taller at this point.
You can see who's a little better looking at this point. We're gonna get out of here. So programming notes: 3 o'clock today with Diaz Love, and then 6 o'clock tonight with another edition of Community Voices with the Seattle School Board directors. So we got Director Hampson, Director DeWolf, and Director Hersey. Until tomorrow. Whatever, man. Until tomorrow. Peace.
All right, y'all. One love. Thanks for having me.
Harmonies of liberty, let our rejoicing rise as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of a new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. Sing it again now.